Whether you want to get going in a new car, to relax at home while you pay bills on your mobile banking app, to get the best rewards with your credit card, or to get a sure start on your little one's future. Whether you want a quick response on your loan, or just a range of services that keep your business running smoothly, you want banking that fits your life. CIBC First Caribbean. Banking that fits your life.
From happy beginnings and life choices that we make along the way,
Brit K protects your lifestyle with the best insurance cover at the best possible price.
Health insurance with far-reaching benefits.
Family protection and long-term financial plans.
Business insurance and generous employee benefits.
For happy beginnings to happy ever after, visit BritK.ky.
Brit K, where people come first.
If it matters to you, it matters to us. We're Cayman 27, Cayman Informed.
This is the only morning show that matters. Cayman Crosstalk.
It's full of sinners and believers. Learn that happiness on earth ain't just for high achievers.
There are pictures of Cayman that we hold in our minds, and those impressions remain with us through the course of time. It's really a collection of the things we've done and seen, and if you know this country well, you know just what I mean. Like Luisito Heights making a fish tea, that's Cayman. Cassava cake and cold swanky, that's Cayman. A jupina drink and a beef patty, that's Cayman. And Herbie Martin, that belly, that's Cayman. Georgetown Harbor sleeping quietly on Sunday night. Captain Theo and Rex Crichton making Christmas bright. It came and brack, the cocoa plum covers the ground like grass. And people you don't know at all wave hello as you pass. Country and western and dirty reeds, that's Cayman. Children sucking on a mango seed, that's Cayman. Nor'wester waves in Hogstye Bay, that's Cayman. Pirates Week, East End Day, that's Cayman. Mr. Howell's shoe shop in the older part of town. Casuarina's leaning on the roadside in South Sound. To look out on the ocean and see various shades of blue. To walk the road at night and find nobody bothers you. Looking crabs with a little flashlight, that's Cayman. Nobody in town after 9 at night, that's Cayman. People in the airport know you by name, that's Cayman. At Rum Point before the Hyatt came, that's Cayman. A nation is a people living out the lives they choose. driving by. That's Cayman. Christmas beef, button tonguefish fry. That's Cayman. Your car break down, you get a lift to town. That's Cayman. Sunday cricket, agriculture ground. That's Cayman. A downtown beach where children swim. That's Cayman. Mr. Jim, remember him. That's Cayman. Spots landing and Christmas breeze. That's Cayman. Miss Coney, macaroni and cheese. That's Cayman.
The opinions expressed by Cayman Crosstalk, its hosts, callers, or guests are not those of Hurley's Media or its sponsors.
Here are your latest news headlines from the Cayman 27 News Team on Rooster 101's Cayman Crosstalk. Now, here's the news. Another cyclist accident in Boddentown. What's up, everybody? I'm Doug Dodds. Here's today's top stories from the Cayman 27 newsroom. A cyclist is sent to the hospital after a Monday morning collision in Boddentown. According to police, a Honda Civic and a cyclist collided at Christina Forbes intersection around 6 a.m. The cyclist was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And in other news today, the Department of Environment says it will no longer be accepting disembodied iguana heads due to last week's reports of headless iguana carcasses being dumped into canals and even at a boat launch facility across the island. To date, Colors delivered a total of 53,464 green iguanas to the counting station in the very first week. After an opening day total of more than 13,000, numbers took a bit of a dip for the rest of the week, but Tuesday through Sunday still averaged close to 8,000 iguanas per day. And finally today, Auditor General Sue Winspear has flagged government's slow implementation of recommendations coming out of her office reports. Winspear says that 8 reports produced by her office recommendations, in just 2 of them have been fully implemented. Winspear added she was also concerned that some of the original recommendations was with limited or no progress to date, going back as far as May of 2015. For more news on these stories and others, click on Cayman27.ky or watch the news tonight at 6 with a replay at 7. For Hurley's Media, I'm Doug Dodds. Have a great day.
Be a part of the conversation on Cayman Crosstalk by calling the Superior Auto Hotline, 233-1019, or message us on the Cayman Crosstalk Facebook page. Now, back to Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101 and simulcast live on Cayman 27.
Good and beautiful morning, my lovely, gorgeous Cayman Islands, and thank you all very much for tuning in and let us be part of your morning and part of your day. It's going to be an interesting show today because it's like a box of chocolates. I'm not sure what I'm going to get, but it's supposed to be Opposition Tuesday, and I believe they're sending a special guest in the studios this morning, and we'll wait to see what that is going to be and unwrap that like Christmas morning, because I'm looking forward to the conversations and so forth and seeing whom the special guest may be. And but between now and then, to be honest with you, I have some giveaways I would like to give to my wonderful listening audience. And I've been taking some flack from some guests, and, you know, that I give you guys basically the answers right away, and that you don't have to work for tickets that maybe can win you, put $5,000 in your hand, like we did yesterday with the Seafarers Association, or even the basketball tournament. I just want you guys to win. I just like you all having a great time, because honestly, you're some of the best listening audience, most engaged listening audience that I have, and that is in the Cayman Islands as well. And I just want to sincerely thank you all for that. And that is one of the reasons why. So I'm going to continue kind of on that same track and so forth of giving you guys as much love as possible. And so this morning, I am going to give away another couple of tickets to the basketball tournament that's going to be coming up. It's the NCAA basketball tournament. It's coming back to the Cayman Islands, ladies and gentlemen. And your questions are going to be within the riddle of all of this little verbiage that I'm going to be giving you right now. And so if you keep tuned and then you dial in, basically 233-1019, 233-1019. I am going to give you a pair of tickets. And I'm looking at the tickets right now. The tickets are worth $50 each. That's $100 because I'm giving you a pair of tickets. Yes, I'm not going to be like my other co-host, which will split them all up. I want you all to take a friend and not just be by yourself, but take someone with you that either loves basketball or never been before and convince them that basketball is the greatest thing next to sliced bread, as Kenneth Bryan and Shamari Scott would probably say right now. And, hopefully we can have all of them there at this NCAA college basketball tournament that is going to be coming up. It's returning to the Cayman Islands Classic. It starts on November the 19th and runs straight through until the 21st. It's going to be held at the new, brand spanking new, it's still sharp, it's still sparkling. It still smells brand new. The John Gray Gym. It doesn't smell like a gym yet, thank goodness. And we're going to have Clemson. We're going to have Georgia, Illinois State, St. Bonaventure. And we're going to have Boise. And we're going to have Creighton. We're going to have Akron and Georgia State. All of those are going to be on the bill that's going to see who's going to come out on top of the Cayman Islands Classic Basketball Tournament 2018. And remember, special local tickets, only $25 per game until the 20th. So I'm giving you guys a special ticket, really. Get your tickets at Smoothie King, Funky Tangs, and Reflections. Food for Less are right here on Cayman Crosstalk as well. And remember, when you say, and here's one of the riddles as well, if you win, when I say, who made you a winner? It is Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101.9 FM. That's the correct answer. Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101.9 FM. And we hope that we'll have a couple of tickets given away this morning. And remember, here are the numbers for all of you. Number in the studio is 233-1019. That is 233-1019. And I would love for you all to call in. And I'm going to do that right after my little break coming up on the 15 pass, which I got to do my little time check very shortly as well. And so I want to open that up to all of you. And then throughout the whole entire week, I'm going to be giving away some tickets that has the potential of putting $5,000 in your hand as well. I would love to put $5,000 in your hand. To be honest with you, Cayman Islands, for Christmas, the drawing for the Seafarers Association annual banquet will be the 1st of December. That is Saturday. And that can give you possible $5,000 in your hand. Or the second prize, I believe, $3,000. And the third prize is $1,000. And then they got 5 consolation prizes, which are worth there's 5 additional prizes worth $100 each. So that's on tap. And really not just only winning some, cash, hard, cold cash in your hand, but what you're going to get is going to be a great evening. You're going to have some live music by J.R. Douglas. You heard him yesterday. I played him twice. I'll play him again right at the very end of the show. I'm going to play J.R. Douglas for you. They're going to have some wonderful dancing, food, camaraderie, and the food is going to be spectacular because I'm going to tell you something. If you have not had island fare yet, you're going to really enjoy it at the Seafarers Association, and that is a banquet dinner that is going to be held on the 1st of December, 2018. And remember, I want to put $5,000 in your hand. Also, you can buy some of these tickets as well to help support the veterans, the CI Veterans Association. My father was not a veteran, sorry. Seafarers Association. The Veterans Remembrance Day is coming up on Monday, pardon me. My father was a seaman for 32 years and had so many different stories on it. And I would love for all of you to participate and help these wonderful gentlemen and, frankly, their spouses out whom are aging. And, frankly, if they have pensions or savings, most of it is outstripped by the cost of living. And all of it goes towards taking care of these elderly seamen that are aging right now and getting there. There's approximately 1,200 members that receive benefits and subsidies and so forth. And remember, the gratis payment is simply just that from government. It's just gratis. So any administration that gets in can choose and pick and choose not to really donate or if they do donate, maybe can pick and choose how much they will probably give them because it's all gratis. And so that is one of those things that are prerogative of governments. So I just want to let you all know that. So if you can support and buy these as well. In addition, I'm going to give away a couple of books today, or not couple. I'm just going to give away one book, but I'm going to break that down over the week as well. And it's called it's a desktop book. To be honest with you, I think it's something everybody should have in the library. And I got a couple home myself, so I just want to remind all of you of those things. Okay, and so here I'm going to go through one more time of the NCAA college basketball tournament that is going to be starting on the 19th of November and run straight through until the 21st at the John Gray Gymnasium, right in the very center of Georgetown. And we're going to have teams from Clemson, Georgia, Illinois State, St. Bonaventure, Boise State. We got Creighton, Akron, Georgia State. And remember, I am going to be giving away, I'm looking at it right now. I'm giving away, yesterday I gave away the very first game tickets. The very first game. Now I got the second one up. I got 2 tickets. Georgia Bulldogs. I love me a Bulldog. It's my favorite dog, Christopher. And Illinois State Redbirds. Just because I love Georgia Bulldogs, hopefully it'll rip the birds apart. I want to see feathers fly. But we're going to have that. Remember, Georgia Bulldogs versus Illinois State Redbirds. That's the second game that's going to be coming up. That's game number 2. And that starts at 1:30 p.m. on the 19th of November. Remember, I gave a little tidbits all straight throughout some of the questions that we're going to answer. And one of the things that I'm going to ask you, if you win, ladies and gentlemen, remember, who made you a winner is Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101.9 FM. And I'm going to go straight to the phone lines right now, see who's online. Good morning, caller. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Cayman Islands, except for 2.
You know what? I know I'm one of them, but who's the second one?
No, it's nothing to do with all of you.
All right.
Two that just makes me sick.
I hear you.
I talk straight. What?
Sí, señor.
When you... buenos días, you comprende español? Ay, yo mucho loco.
Mucho loco. En la cabeza.
Hey, will you please ask the engineers to keep the station on the air, especially during the classical time?
Well, it should only matter between 7 and 10 weekdays. That's the time it really matters.
Sir, sometimes some of your guests I don't listen to.
Oh, come on now.
Listen, I am a straight talking person, okay?
Come on. Well, this morning, I hope you're going to listen to our guest this morning.
Where are we going?
Well, I tell you the truth, I'm not even sure where we're going right now, but hopefully we'll have
you must come on?
Yeah. Come on. You got to help me. Help me with this. I'm running a little overtime right now because I want to give away a couple of tickets.
That's all you ever run overtime and I get the extra pay.
That's right. And that's the sad part about this.
Don't worry about that.
When they give you management pay, that you got to work straight through all the hours. They need to change the labor laws. They need to change the labor laws right now.
Same with the government. That's all everybody looking for the pay. Same anyway you hear lecture. Same thing.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I was reading yesterday the press release from the Auditor General's office. And I'll be honest with you, if someone wrote a report saying that departments didn't perform in a private sector, I can guarantee you somebody will be given a pink slip and a cardboard box, will walk out the door and say, adios, amigo, amiga. Because let me tell you something. I was going all the way back to 2013 as far as reports. Come on, man. I mean, it's eight reports, and they're basically all been roughly ignored. And some have been slowly started. They gave these little beautiful little circles that say progress, no progress, and all this kind of stuff. And, it's absolutely frustrating, to be honest with you. Frustrating. But number one, I need you to help me do a little time check right now, all right?
I just want to tell you that I heard it too.
All right, good. Well, hopefully, maybe the opposition will be coming in and some special guest that's going to be coming in as well, or maybe special guests in their place, in their stead. We'll see what happens.
Bring in number 2, Ezra Miller?
I would, I love Ezra. I'm not going to lie to you. I really enjoy having conversation with Ezra.
That's what made him joke.
Yeah, I like conversation with Mr. Miller.
I don't have nothing against no one, none of them.
You have everything against everybody. You and I sat down and talked, so you keep quiet.
Especially you.
Yes, you keep quiet now. Help me out this morning. All right?
Okay.
All right. Maybe you can do this commercial for me as well. But I just want to say to everyone this morning that Subway has another great deal going on in the mornings. Frankly, I believe you can do it all the time because the coffee station is open basically 24/7 at all 6 locations of Subway. That means that when you go to any of the 6 locations of Subway and you get a cup of coffee, they will give you a free fresh baked cookie. Absolutely your choice. Free. I love it. I love that when you go there. Most places you go, you get a cup of coffee. And if you want a little pastry or a little treat, you got to buy that. But Subway's going to give you a little bit of savings in your pocket. They're also going to give you a little bit of loving in your belly by giving you a free cookie of your choice. Remember, Subway sells coffee too, and right now you can get a free cookie of your choice with each coffee that you buy. And it may be a limited time offer, so you got to hurry, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, Subway.
Eat fresh, eat delicious with a free cookie.
This hour of Cayman Crosstalk is powered by Subway. Subway, with 6 locations across Cayman, you know it makes sense to choose Subway. Subway, eat fresh, eat delicious. More of Cayman Crosstalk is next on Rooster 101 and simulcast live on Cayman 27.
Ever wondered what smart health insurance feels like?
Premier Health's 24/7 worldwide health insurance does most of the thinking for you.
1,500 CGI health claims are settled daily.
55% of claims settled automatically.
You can access your health plan almost anywhere, anytime.
And have smart wellness with online data tracking.
And more provider choices for you and the people who matter most.
Premier Health is smart health insurance, and it feels good.
Brit K, where people come first.
Cayman First have been protecting motorists for over 30 years. We make it easy for you to choose the right policy to protect you and your family. We're dedicated to keeping you informed so that Cayman's roads are a safer place to be. We offer great rates, great service, and our 24-hour first response service is available to all our motor policy holders. Go to our website today to know your way around a roundabout. Cayman First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Get ready to laugh as TV's funniest hidden camera show will have you in stitches. Just for Laughs, the Laugh Out Loud comedy show catches unsuspecting people in some of the funniest situations. It's Just for Laughs, and it's only here on Cayman 27. Catch it Monday through Friday.
Let Elite Marble and Granite bring the charm of Italy to your home. Made from only the best materials. Santa Margherita Quartz is handcrafted in a state-of-the-art facility located in Italy and then journeys across the ocean to Elite Marble and Granite, who is the exclusive distributor in the Caribbean. Elegant and resistant, Santa Margherita Quartz products offer a large choice of colors, textures, and exclusive finishes. Call 945-9028 or visit us online at elite.ky. Elite Marble and Granite, where perfection costs less.
31019 or message us on the Cayman Crosstalk Facebook page. Now, back to Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101 and simulcast live on Cayman 27.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, happy Tuesday morning to all of you, and thank you all very much. I'm going to go into my giveaway phase right now. And ladies and gentlemen, if you keep tuning in, weekdays and so forth, I'm going to have some tickets that I'm going to be giving away, either to the basketball tournament that's going to be coming up, the NCAA college basketball tournament that's coming to the Cayman Islands again, starting on the 19th of November and running straight through until the 21st at the John Gray Gymnasium. It's still brand spanking new, smells new, and hopefully will continue smelling that way. And in addition to that, we're just going to say it's going to be a great time for all of you because we're bringing in, young college students from Clemson University and Georgia, Illinois State, St. Bonaventure, and Boise State. We got Creighton and Akron and Georgia State as well that's going to be playing. And we got local tickets prices. They're only $25 per game until October the 20th, that's gone. And so they're popped right up to $50. And I got 2 tickets right here, worth $50 each. That's $100. And that is for the game between. That's the second game, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be starting at 1:30 p.m. on November the 19th. And that's going to be between Georgia State and the Illinois, Georgia Bulldogs and the Illinois State Redbirds. Those are going to be giving away right now. And and remember, when you win, who made you winner is Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101.9 FM. And I'm going to open the lines up, 233-1019, 233-1019. If you would like a pair of tickets to the NCAA basketball tournament, I know, for example, Kenneth Bryan is a massive basketball fan. I'm not sure whether or not, he likes, to be honest with you, college basketball, but I know he's a nut for the NBA and also Shamari Scott as well. So if you want any kind of information and you have their contact numbers, maybe give them a call and see what you can actually get. And here are some of the questions that I'm going to ask you right now. What pair of tickets am I going to give away right now? It's between whom and what game are these teams playing? What game in terms of is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? What game is it? And between whom and what day it will be played on. And the number in the studios is 233-1019, 233-1019. And remember, I got 2 tickets here. It's worth $100. And I'm giving away a pair because I would like you to go with a friend, maybe a loved one, a significant other that will enjoy the game with you as well. And I want all of you to fill the stadiums as much as possible. Remember, you can get your tickets not only here in the mornings by guessing some of these easy questions that I would like to give you. I call them softball questions. But you can get it at Smoothie King, Funky Tangs, Reflections for Less, airport location. And those are the areas that you can actually get this. 233-1019, 233-1019. If you would like to go to the NCAA college basketball tournament, and it starts on the 19th of November, going straight through the 21st at the John Gray Gym. And I'm not taking any answers over WhatsApp. I'm sorry. This is kind of more of a phone-in thing. I'm going to try to give some stuff away as well online to all of you. 233-1019, 233-1019. It seems like I'm not getting a lot of takers on this. I'm not sure why, but I bet you if I put $5,000 in your hand, it will probably pick up. I wonder which one. Maybe I should cancel this one, Chris, and give it to you just for being you. Should I do that? I'm wondering. 233-1019, 233-1019. I'm just going to go straight to this wonderful caller, and I might just even give it to him just for the heck of it. Good morning, caller. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I am fantastic, and happy Tuesday morning to you. Are you calling in to see whether or not you can win a pair of tickets to the NCAA? All right. Good. All right. You fired up this morning?
Sure am.
All right. Well, I want, like right before you play a game, you go, I want to hear it. I want to hear you that you're ready. Put your game face on. All right?
Come on.
Oh, I should just give it to you right away. Brilliant. All right, caller. I'm giving away a pair of tickets between which universities, which colleges this morning?
Georgia State and Illinois.
Repeat one more time, sorry?
It's Georgia State.
Right.
And Illinois.
There you go. All right, that's one question down. Do you know what day they will be playing?
The 19th
Brilliant.
of November.
Brilliant. You remember the time? I know that's a bonus question right there, but you got
at 1 o'clock, I think.
Boy, 1:30. Dang, you
1:30.
Yeah, you deserve it, man. You deserve it. Cheese and crackers. And do you know where they're going to be playing?
At the John Gray Gym Stadium.
Wonderful, wonderful. And if you would like to go and again to the other ones, because we got roughly 11 games that's going to be played. And if you'd like to take a friend to 11 games, can you name at least 2 locations that you can buy tickets from?
Smoothie King.
All right, go.
Oh boy.
It's where Cayman gets most of the tickets from all the time.
Oh, Funky Time.
There you go. That's all I need to say. There you go. You got it. And Reflections Food for Less airport location. Caller, you are a winner. Honestly, you're a winner because you just came in with your game face and you did your little game growl this morning. You won it just from my heart from that one. But caller, who made you a winner this morning?
Rooster 101.9. And don't ask me to do that rooster crow.
Well, that's part of that. Christopher says you need to go back and answer correctly. It's Cayman Crosstalk. Who made you a winner? Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101.9 FM. And you have to do the rooster crow. That's the only caveat that we have in this. Huh? All right. Christopher wants to say that.
Caller, it's absolutely mandatory to do the rooster crow.
Yeah, that's the only caveat we have. You have to do that rooster. Ready?
Okay, I'm an amateur, so here goes nothing.
There you go. Nobody can see you.
I'll do one like I taught my kids.
All right. There you go, caller. Congratulations to you. And, just hold on the line, and Christopher is going to take your contact details, and we hope to see you down here at our wonderful location at 18 Forum Lane down at Camana Bay. Thank you all. Thank you very much for tuning in. And coming up, we're going to have, I just see on my phone that we're going to have a special guest that's going to be coming in from the opposition. The People-Initiated Referendum, CPR, is going to be coming in the studios. And we're going to take your calls, your emails, your WhatsApps. And remember, these contact details, ladies and gentlemen, 233-1019. That is 233-1019. That's the in-studio number. That's sponsored by our wonderful friends at Superior Auto. And we also got the WhatsApp as well, which is 234-1019. That is 324-1019. Also, we got the email, which is Cayman Crosstalk at hurleysmedia.ky, Cayman Crosstalk at hurleysmedia.ky. In addition, we also have the Facebook page, which is live streaming right now. You can post immediately beneath the live streaming video if you don't want the 4,900 people that are following us right now to see what you're saying and maybe participate in that conversation. Just simply private message me in the background, and I'll share your thoughts with the guest or even follow up on something that you've asked me to do. I try to answer every one that comes through. And I want to sincerely thank all of you for tuning in, letting us be part of your morning, part of your day. Tomorrow, I may be giving away as well the opportunity for you to put $5,000 in your hand. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. So you got to keep tuned in tomorrow. And I can probably be doing one online as well. And so remember, I want to put $5,000 in your hand December 1, 2018. So you can have a little happier Christmas than you would. Normally, Christmas is a wonderful time of the year, but I want to make it even much more merrier by putting $5,000 possibly in your hand. We're going to take a little break right now, and coming back, we're going to have a special guest of the opposition, people from individuals from the People-Initiated Referendum, CPR.
This hour of Cayman Crosstalk is powered by Subway. Subway. With 6 locations across Cayman, you know it makes sense to choose Subway. Subway. Eat fresh. Eat delicious. More of Cayman Crosstalk is next on Rooster 101 and simulcast live on Cayman 27.
Sometimes having a middleman is not a bad thing, especially when it comes to insurance. Do you know that when it comes to cost, ease, speed, and peace of mind, insurance brokers ranked higher than when customers buy direct? So, for all your insurance needs, call Fidelity Insurance. We're the middleman you want. Call us today at 949-7822. Fidelity. We're good for you.
Have you had your Tortuga moment today? Come by Tortuga Fine Wine and Spirits for all your liquor needs and taste the world-famous Tortuga rum and rum cake. Always delicious and baked fresh daily in the captivating Cayman Islands. With ongoing renovations at the airport, we invite you to shop our stores and buy before you fly. Relive the Cayman Islands in every bite.
We believe that every life matters and that we are all connected. One community, one people. We believe in compassion to give dignity to those that society has let down. We strive to conquer fear, and we believe that the power to heal is a gift. This is who we are. This is what we believe. Holy Cross.
The flavor with a beat. Black thing now move up him dancing feet. We dance them flavor with a beat. Whole heap of sauce, yeah, we acting on the street. Young middle age or old, move your feet. When Grace if we dance, everybody have to do it.
Grace, feel the vibe, can't you feel it? Grace, delicious, so nutritious. Yes, quality when you taste it. Want affordable, look for the label.
Flavor we are flavor because the spice is flaring. Flavor with a beat, no other brand than near we.
One taste and you know Grace is real.
Another cyclist accident in Bontown. What's up, everybody? I'm Doug Dodds. Here's today's top stories for the Cayman 27 newsroom. A cyclist is sent to the hospital after a Monday morning collision in Bontown. According to police, a Honda Civic and a cyclist collided at Christina Forbes intersection around 6 a.m. The cyclist was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And in other news today, the Department of Environment says it will no longer be accepting disembodied iguana heads due to last week's reports of headless iguana carcasses being dumped into canals and even at a boat launch facility across the island. To date, Colors delivered a total of 53,464 green iguanas to the counting station in the very first week. After an opening day total of more than 13,000, numbers took a bit of a dip for the rest of the week, but Tuesday through Sunday still averaged close to 8,000 iguanas per day. And finally today, Auditor General Sue Winspear has flagged government's slow implementation of recommendations coming out of her office reports. Winspear says that 8 reports produced by her office recommendations, in just 2 of them have been fully implemented. Winspear added she was also concerned that some of the original recommendations was with limited or no progress to date, going back as far as May of 2015. For more news on these stories and others, click on Cayman27.ky or watch the news tonight at 6 with a replay at 7. For Hurley's Media, I'm Doug Dodds. Have a great day.
Be a part of the conversation on Cayman Crosstalk by calling the Superior Auto Hotline, 233-1019, or message us on the Cayman Crosstalk Facebook page. Now, back to Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101 and simulcast live on Cayman 27.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much, and happy Tuesday to all of you. And I have, Ms. Moriu ranking in the studios from the People-Initiated Referendum, and it's called CPR. And I just want to welcome you back, sir, and thank you very much for coming in this morning, and tell us what's on top.
Well, good morning, first of all, and thank you again, Woody and Hurley's Media, for letting us come on and give updates and share information pertaining to the referendum, the petition for referendum. And we've been working diligently, night and day, trying to retrieve the 5,288 in order to trigger the referendum. So we wanted to, absolutely give an update to all of our volunteers who have been. I can't even start to mention how awesome they've been over the last couple of weeks. I think that it has certainly given me inspiration on on how people could collectively get together for such a cause, and I think it's important that we demonstrate that and we carry that forward, going through to many other things that the community needs. So I was hoping Michelle would have been here by now so we could have both, contributed to what the update is. I mean, she'll be here shortly. So, but in fairness to her, I would like for her to be here. Because we want to give those individuals who've obviously participated with the signatures and even to the volunteers, we want to give everybody an update as to where we are and how things are sizing up. One of the most important things that I've found out during this process is that we have such a bad stigma within the civil servants with something like this, and I think that in order for us to move past that lump in the road is that we need to do a better job as a community on the educational process of how certain protocols within government works, and we need to remove the scaremongering factor where even though the deputy governor has issued a circulation stating, those who could sign the petition within the civil service, there's still that block in their mind that they'll still be victimized within the workplace. And I think that it's unfortunate because our civil servants are very important to the society and how our government mechanisms work. And for us to have them under this suppression where they're scared even when they're allowed to participate in such a democratic process, I think it's unfortunate.
Well, I mean, what does that say about our society? To me, that is a telltale sign that victimization is real, right. And they may have not gone through it themselves, but they probably seen someone or experienced someone going through it, and so therefore, if one thing that is clear in the Cayman Islands, and nobody knows it better than I, is that when they go after you, they go after you economically.
Tell me about it.
And when they cut your throat economically, it's a slow bleed. And that's the hope that a lot of them have. And I don't care what anybody say. I can have documented evidence, have proof of all of it. It may not just be blatant saying it, but it's just those that are winking and nodding and so forth of that nature. And, when people's livelihood is at stake.
You know what? And to add to that, it's a lot more than just the financial aspect of it. Because remember, in Cayman, we're built mainly on the social aspect of our everyday lives, and in order to participate socially on any level, you have to have certain level of finances to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the home, I've personally experienced, through what victimization happened to me with all of my businesses, and I realized that it didn't only just affect my finances; it affected my social life. It affected those people who were around me, that were close to me, who decided to somewhat take the high road or take the low road and disappear after the fact, which is okay because then you understand who your friends are and then you understand who was loyal to you at that time too. Mm-hmm. So at best, I think that we need to do a better job moving forward on how civil servants play a role, how anybody in society plays a role in any initiation that's important to the country. I think we should all, without fear, have an opportunity to participate in whatever process that is taking place that is going to be for the betterment of our country, our island, our people, and certainly our environment. So I don't know how long it'll take, but I think that no journey ends without a start. So for anyone to try to deter us or convince us that we're doing the wrong thing, they're doing it in vain, because until the day I die, I'm going to fight for what I believe is best for Cayman, and I'm not going to make any apologies for it. So I just think that moving forward, hopefully this precedent, once we set this, will create in the minds of those people who doubt it, that it can be done and it will be done. And one of the other things that is also very concerning is that, if I sign it, it's not going to make a difference anyway. The government will do whatever they want. So I just want the public to understand that statement. And I've heard that from multiple people, Woody, young and old. And surprisingly, people in the college has made those remarks. And it was very concerning because those are the people that we're relying on to run the country moving forward. What's disheartening about that is that the propaganda machine is so good that we've convinced a large block of our society that even if they participate in a democratic process, it won't make a difference. That is not a good signal to be beaconing out to our society at large. So we need to change that direction. We need to have, I think mentally the paradigm shift has taken place, but now it has to be seen physically.
Well, I agree with you, and I got to throw something past you. You mentioned the propaganda machine and so forth of that nature. And I think one way to, you see, I keep looking at, for example, and I keep looking for fighters and champions. And I'm calling the DPP, and I'm calling the Anti-Corruption Commission. I'm calling the Standards and Public Life Commission, and also calling the Human Rights Commission, all in play. And here's the reason why. Section 19 of the Constitution, as you know, for the longest period of time, I've been hitting Section 16, 19, and in particular of the Constitution, because I want people to know those particular ones. But Section 19 is to me, is saving grace to a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Which is administrative procedures, administrative law, how it is implemented every opportunity. And the law is very clear, and I'll say it succinctly. It's supposed to be fair, rational, proportionate, lawful. Proportionate. Now, you can't choose proportionality just on a whim. It has to be balanced. That's what proportionality means. In fact, if anyone was to read, Professor Jowell's report on the reason why he, and this, bear in mind, this particular administration that's led by this premier was the one that engaged Professor Jowell. And when you read his paper on proportionality, it is one of those key elements in his mind that underpins true democracy, that everyone, regardless of whether or not you're part of majority or minority, you're still allowed to have a voice, because your voice cannot be silenced in any capacity whatsoever.
Right.
Having said that, when I look at the propaganda, as you were saying, the opposition has no resources in terms of cash to even do what they're doing. They will allow you to come on and push these things in this way and in a soft approach, but you don't have the resources and the financial wherewithal to do the television ads, the TV ads, the radio ads, the internet pop-ups, and everything else that goes along with it, the whole entire massive machine. And one has to act whether or not that is fair, reasonable, and proportionate. And frankly, to me, to be honest with you, lawful. And those are the questions that I have to ask all of those commissions that I spoke on earlier. I don't care whether or not you say you need to create a law. The ultimate law of the land is the Constitution. And when you read all of those ones, Section 117, if you want to read Section 119, all of those are very clearly laid out. Section 16 as well, and 19. They're the guiding tools for all of these administrators to follow by. And that bothers me, that there's no proportionality nor any fairness within the whole entire system. And that is why a lot of people are willing to say, you know what, this is already rigged. I might as well keep my mouth shut because you know what, I'm going to get a little slit across my throat and I'm going to bleed out very, very easy.
Yeah.
And it's a scary situation. Well, I got to go and take a break, but I just want to acknowledge Miss Michelle Lockwood, who just came into the studios, and I want to continue the conversation right after this as well. And a very good morning to you, ma'am, and welcome back to the studios as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to do a little time check right now. Time check is brought to you by my wonderful sponsors, Subway. And Subway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to keep hitting this as much as possible. Subway has what they call Subway Can Drive. And bring canned goods to your local Subway store. There are 6 of them. And get a free cookie of your choice for simply just dropping off canned goods. All canned goods, non-perishable, will be donated to Feed Our Future and to Meals on Wheels. We're asking you to sincerely and humbly please extend your Cayman kind this holiday season at all 6 locations of Subway. Remember, there's 2 locations open 24/7, so if you can, do it at 3, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. You can do so. You can do so at Centennial Towers in West Bay. And the other one, Central Georgetown at Anderson Square. Subway, eat fresh, eat delicious. That's for you, Sammy J.
This hour of Cayman Crosstalk is powered by Subway. Subway, with 6 locations across Cayman, you know it makes sense to choose Subway. Subway, eat fresh, eat delicious. More of Cayman Crosstalk is next on Rooster 101 and simulcast live on Cayman 27.
Receive your miracle, your healing, salvation, encouragement. Hear the word of the Lord from David Turner, Monday to Wednesday, November 5 to 7 at 7 p.m. at Town Hall, Georgetown, 42 4th Street, Grand Cayman. Admission free. Call 345-925-7798 or email info@avodaproductions.com. Experience healing through worship. Experience the anointing as David Turner ministers. Don't you miss it.
This is the Volvo Ocean Race, the story of a 45-year obsession. Sailing's iconic race around the world, the ultimate test of a team, and the place where elite sport meets human adventure. With up to 10 sailors packed into 65 feet of carbon fiber for weeks on end, in a race that lasts almost 9 months, it's an adventure that borders on a psychological experiment.
Watch as some of the world's most talented people put their skills to the test as they attempt to make their mark in the record books. You'll witness some of the craziest, scariest, most bizarre stunts people will do, all in the name of stardom. It's the ultimate Guinness World Records, and it's right here on Cayman 27. Capture all the action.
I just want to say a shout out to my forecaster this morning, Mr. Gilbert Miller from the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. I big those guys up. In fact, tomorrow we'll probably be having the Director General of Weather on, no, not God, but John Tibbetts. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, here is your synopsis for this morning. We're going to have light to moderate winds, and seas are expected over the next 24 hours due to a lingering ridge of high pressure over the northwest Caribbean. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area moving westward. That is going to translate to the following. Your synopsis for the daylight hours is going to have a high of 84. They say the real fuel temperature, the heat index may indicate 92 degrees. You're going to have a 40% chance of experiencing some showers today, but they're going to be brief in passing. So therefore, partial sunshine with some showers in areas. Winds are going to be coming at you from the east-northeast at 12 miles per hour with an occasional gust at about 15. That's going to translate to 2 to 4 foot sea heights. The wind direction is going to continue but drop down to about a soft 8 miles per hour tonight. That's going to cool your surface temperatures down to 81 degrees with the real fuel temperature about 86. You're not going to have very much rain tonight, so therefore it's going to be a cloudy, beautiful evening. Last night we enjoyed some great rains, and the forecast was spot on. Sunrise this morning was at 6:29. Sunset will be at 5:49. You got 11 hours and 20 minutes of beautiful tropical sun to enjoy. I just want to say to Marie and Ralph, yes, Marie and Ralph, all the way from Tennessee, I hope that you voted because today is big voting day in the U.S. But to Ralph and Marie, welcome to the Cayman Islands. You got a similar weather forecast pattern straight through until Thursday morning. And join us back with the opposition's guests, CPR.
Be a part of the conversation on Cayman Crosstalk by calling the Superior Auto Hotline, 233-1019, or message us on the Cayman Crosstalk Facebook page. Now, back to Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101 and simulcast live on Cayman 27.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for coming on, tuning in, and letting us be part of your morning part today. Mario's planting seeds in my brain. That's
it's the messaging.
Absolutely subliminal.
What the government done to us all these years.
And I just want to sincerely welcome Miss Michelle Lockwood into the studios with us this morning.
Thanks for
Very
having
good
us
morning,
again.
ma'am.
Yeah, good morning.
And I want you to pull that microphone a little closer to you. I want everyone to hear you, not only on broadcast land, but TV land as well. And welcome back to the studios. And obviously, we're talking about the people-initiated referendum. And by all accounts, everybody wants to know what's happening. And obviously, Mario, I read at the very beginning, was saying that you wanted to say, a big thank you to the many volunteers that have really gotten involved. And I can tell you, there's a lot of people that are from all stratas of life in the Cayman Islands, from doctors straight down to just ordinary Janes and Joes from the streets as well, that just have a passion for the environment and for wanting things to be done correctly. So I just want to say welcome back to the studios, Ms. Lockwood.
Thank you. And you're right. Our volunteers have been so incredible. I mean, we've got some people that are there at Hurley's like every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday, every Saturday. We say, hey, we're going to try a new location out. They're like, yep, we'll be there. Tell us when. We have some incredible volunteers like that. And you're right. We should be thanking them. They honestly, we couldn't do what we're doing without them. When the six of us kind of got together and sat down, and it's a huge daunting task to say, oh, I want to get 25% of the electorate to sign this petition. And with the help of these volunteers, we've gotten a lot closer to that number, and we're going to reach it. We will get there.
All right. Well, I mean, do you think that you're within striking distance, or you're just like cruise ship's length away? As we used to say when we were racing, beaten by a cruise ship length.
By a cruise ship length. Well, I mean, certainly I can say confidently, Woody, that I think that we are hot on the heels of the threshold. In fact, I think that once the new count comes in, based on the last count that we've done, I believe that we'll be fairly close to our mark, or if not past our mark, hopefully.
We're aiming above what we need.
We're aiming above, yeah. So what we've done is we've given ourselves, a cushion of about 1,500. That's our ultimate goal. That's where the fireworks goes off, and then we'll go and start doing the verification process on the registered voters. Make sure that everybody is accounted for, and then once that process is done and it's accepted through the election office and verified, then obviously the process then takes place. Hopefully, and during that process, we'll be able to at least convince the government. I'm being very optimistic here, because I am a very optimistic person. I am hoping that the government will see the importance of that amount of registered voters' signatures, and allow the process to be fairly done, as opposed to what we've seen in the past. And I throw that out there simply because I want the cabinet, the deputy governor, the governor, and even to the Foreign Commonwealth Office understand that, if we reach the numbers that we hope, that is a clear consensus of what the people of this country wants, and we will not be ignored under no circumstances. So I just want to make sure that fair warning is out there, that, if you have that level of people that's shown that amount of interest, go out and participate in this democratic process, which is allowed to us through the Constitution, and somehow be ignored or be unfairly treated. I don't think it will go down well, because then, that's a whole nother fight that we have to take on. So all I want to see in this process, and there's a lot of detractors out there that's saying that, if you sign a petition, it's a no vote for the port. It's funny that they would say that, but if you don't sign the petition, then it's a no against democracy. It's a no against your constitutional right. So it's important that we have fair and level conversation when we approach this particular issue.
I mean, and don't forget that, when they had the meeting on the 26th of September, when it was asked, they keep saying, oh, once the bidder's done, then they're going to do another EIA, then they're going to update the EIA, then they're going to do this. But at no point was it ever made clear that there's going to be another point for public consultation. So if the EIA...
they did.
Did they?
They said no.
They did. The procurement office manager basically said it just doesn't make any sense once it goes past, and once the things are signed.
So,
it's clearly documented, and I believe...
This is the last time that we have an opportunity as the public to voice our opinion on this.
And the only thing that we have left.
And we're just asking for more information. We don't want information after the fact when we can't make a decision. We want the information now, and we want to make an informed and educated decision. Well, and I think that's why this petition is so important, is so that everybody can get the facts. Because I've been speaking to people when we've been out at like Hurley's, And the level of misinformation that has been, or under information that had been presented by the government, somebody had this idea that, we're going to lose cruise tourists, which was very clearly stated at that meeting that we weren't going to be losing cruise tourists. We just weren't going to be getting, the mega ships, So, this is just huge things that we have to think about and make sure that people understand that we just want information. And we've been asking for this information for the last 3 years and more so in the last 3 months. And unfortunately, even though we're asking for more information, we're asking for the facts as they want to state it. We still haven't seen facts. We still haven't seen information. So, signing the petition is in no way against the port. You can sign it if you want the pier. And, like Mario and I, Save Cayman, the rest of us that have been involved in this, and even the people that are involved, like from our volunteer level, none of us have said that we're against cruise tourists. We of course we understand that they are a huge part of our tourism product. Yeah,
it's a myth.
So to say that we're against cruise tourism is completely false. We are absolutely for cruise tourism, but we're not for cruise tourism to the detriment of our coral reefs, of our infrastructure.
Quality.
Quality. We want people to come off the ship and have an amazing experience. It's not good when you hear people saying that, that was a horrible experience. But, we can't overcrowd it. We can't have another 700,000 people a year during high season. Don't forget that, because it's not going to be equitably distributed throughout the year. They're going to be concentrated the times that they're already coming. We have a low season for a reason. That's because those countries are having better weather in their own countries. Also, we are having worse weather in our countries. It's ridiculously hot in the summer, as well as hurricane season. So when we talk about 700,000 extra people, we're talking about that during the high season. Maybe a little bit.
I'll be honest with you. I got to go and take a break, but that number is still not verified in any capacity. No. So, the executive said we weren't going to guarantee any numbers. Right. I
want to touch on that after the break. Yeah.
I just want to let you know we have a lot of affluent, we have a lot of influential people that have invested into the Cayman Islands. And I have the privilege of knowing some of them. And some of them I've managed assets for them in the past. One came back and just visited us just a few days ago. And he has made his nest egg on construction. And he was asking me, he says, I've been listening because obviously I have a massive investment. He bought at one of the major hotels here on the residential side of it several years back. You can figure out which one that is. And he was saying, I just don't understand what your government is saying, is that you're going to put out a procurement bid for a contractor to bid, build, finance, and manage. But yet there's no secure numbers anywhere down the line that anyone can guarantee on. He says, frankly, as a contractor, based on what cruise tourism has done around regions and around, not just within the Caribbean, but just within the Gulf of Mexico and other areas, I would be leery to even want to bite into that apple. Those were the words that he was saying. He says, I don't understand what you all are saying, because he invested into a beautiful unit, I must admit, made it even bigger than what it is. But I'm just going to say, and those who know will probably know who I'm talking about right now. But he's even befuddled by all of that whole entire situation as well. But when we come back, we can continue this conversation. And remember, the number in the studios is 233-1019, 233-1019. In addition, you can also WhatsApp me, which is 324-1019, 324-1019, or email me, CaymanCrosstalk@hurleysmedia.ky, CaymanCrosstalk@hurleysmedia.ky, or just simply post underneath our live streaming video or in the back end, and we'll be happy to share those with the guests, which is from CPR, the People Initiated Referendum. And before I take this break, I got a WhatsApp saying that how you say that you're looking for 1,500 more, and I guess people just kind of caught on. Mm-hmm. You just want a buffer over and above the threshold, right. Basically 5,300 people. You want a buffer of at least 1,500 extra people. You already believe that you're close within that threshold, if not near that threshold. You just want to give a buffer. So you're not seeking 1,500 signatures. Mm-mm. You have probably a lot more than that you're filtering out. Who is voters from whom are not. And so I just wanted to clarify that. This individual said that you needed to clarify that a little bit more. We'll be right back after this short little break.
The opinions expressed by Cayman Crosstalk, its hosts, callers, or guests are not those of Hurley's Media or its sponsors.
The Cayman 27 News Team. Here are your latest news headlines, brought to you by the Cayman Pharmacy Group with West Bay Pharmacy, Savannah Pharmacy, and Professional Pharmacy. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. Visit them today. Now, here's your news headlines.
Another cyclist accident in Bontown. What's up, everybody? I'm Doug Dodds. Here's today's top stories for the Cayman 27 newsroom. A cyclist is sent to the hospital after a Monday morning collision in Bontown. According to police, a Honda Civic and a cyclist collided at Christina Forbes intersection around 6 a.m. The cyclist was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And in other news today, the Department of Environment says it will no longer be accepting disembodied iguana heads due to last week's reports of headless iguana carcasses being dumped into canals and even at a boat launch facility across the island. To date, Colors delivered a total of 53,464 green iguanas to the counting station in the very first week. After an opening day total of more than 13,000, numbers took a bit of a dip for the rest of the week, but Tuesday through Sunday still averaged close to 8,000 iguanas per day. And finally today, Auditor General Sue Winspear has flagged government's slow implementation of recommendations coming out of her office reports. Winspear says that 8 reports produced by her office recommendations, in just 2 of them have been fully implemented. Winspear added she was also concerned that some of the original recommendations was with limited or no progress to date, going back as far as May of 2015. For more news on these stories and others, click on Cayman27.ky or watch the news tonight at 6 with a replay at 7. For Hurley's Media, I'm Doug Dodds. Have a great day.
Be a part of the conversation on Cayman Crosstalk by calling the Superior Auto Hotline, 233-1019, or message us on the Cayman Crosstalk Facebook page. Now, back to Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101 and simulcast live on Cayman 27.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, happy Tuesday to all of you, and thank you all very much for tuning in. Let this be part of your morning and part of your day. If you're just tuning in right now, I'm just going to recap. The opposition has a special guest in the studios. Members from CPR, which is the People Initiated Referendum, and that is pushed and underpinned by Section 70 of the Constitution, which is your human right that you are able to petition the government on issues of national importance. And those that I have in the studios is Ms. Michelle Lockwood and also Mr. Mario Rankin. And if you want to contact us, numbers in studios is 233-1019. That is 233-1019. Also, a WhatsApp number, which is 324-1019, 324-1019. In addition to that, we have the Facebook, which is Cayman Crosstalk. Just want to do a little housekeeping. If you're watching us over on Facebook at our sister station, Cayman 27, and you're dropping some messages, forgive me, I can't help you. Just go right up to the search bar, type in Cayman Crosstalk, come on over, mosey on over here, and like us. I've been liking and loving your likes. And if you can share it as well, that'd be even better so that the word can get out as much as possible. And so also the email, which is caymancrosstalk@hurleysmedia.ky. And Mr. Rankin, you wanted to say something right before.
Right. I just wanted to extend on what Michelle was speaking about earlier and about the additional numbers and the cruise passengers and how important they are to our tourism product. You know, none of us at CPR or any of the volunteers who are involved with this movement has ever expressed publicly or privately, at least not to us, that they were against cruise tourism. The reality is that we have to come to the realization and accept that there is a capacity that we can accommodate to provide a quality experience to those individuals without, tipping the scale too far, that then it becomes a situation where Cayman becomes an undesirable location for both sectors of our tourism. And what I've seen thus far from ProPort and the government and everybody who is pushing for the port, remember, they're only basing all of their arguments on potential. So potential could be used in many different ways and aspects. You could potentially make more and you can potentially lose more. And what a lot of the ProPort people are not realizing is that once we go into mass cruise tourism, there is a potential to lose stayover, which is the bread and butter of our tourism product on a whole. That makes the most money in that sector. I keep hearing the argument, well, 80% of our tourists come from cruise tourists. Well, that speaks volumes, because that 80% of tourists that comes through cruise only spends 25% of the revenue being generated from our overall tourist product. So I think we need to take a pause for a moment and realize what sector of the tourism product is generating more revenue and creating less strain on our infrastructure, which is our stayover. And we need to do a lot more for our stayover and accommodate, as well as maintain the numbers that we can accommodate for cruise, so that we don't turn our product into something that is non-desirable on an overall, because it's clear in the numbers that's provided by the government that cruise tourism only provide $149 million out of the $880 million. It's very clear in their own numbers that that's what cruise tourism provide out of that money. So if we take now and we go mass cruise and we jeopardize our stayover, then we are putting at risk the sector that makes the most revenue from tourism. So if we're going to have a discussion fairly about why we would need a pair, then we need to have the same discussion as to why we need to upgrade and extend the runway and increase and build more infrastructure like hotels and accommodations for stayover. If you go to Toronto and you see where they open 4 or 5 extra airports to bring in more flights, as opposed to other tourists, you'll see that their tourism product skyrocketed, because they put the emphasis on the areas in which they could accommodate more stayover people who came in actually to participate longer than a few hours on shore. So we need to strike that balance. And you've heard us say this from the very beginning. We have to have that balance that doesn't tip the scale, where we diminish the quality of our tourism product and then we sacrifice the overall product because we're trying to accommodate for an extra couple 100,000 people that will potentially come. Because you asked them that night, Woody, at the meeting, and you waited for the very last moment. Is there any guarantees? And you were right. They could give no guarantees, because
we can't give guarantees.
We could build 1 million pairs all around Cayman.
We just hope if it works.
It just does not give us a guarantee that they're going to bring ships here.
And I mean, on the same point, you know, they built that fancy pier in Mobile, Alabama, which got used all of
one time
when they had that awful, that cruise that had medical emergency that needed to stop there.
Norfolk,
so
virus.
and if you look at Falmouth, like all the promises that were made in that, so if you look at what different, that's the thing. I just don't understand personally why we have to forget and not take into consideration the mistakes that other jurisdictions have made. We cannot, and Mario has said this so many times, that we cannot compare ourselves with other Caribbean jurisdictions. We are different. Like, I've heard some people say, Cuba's way ahead of us. And it's like, the thing is, we'll probably lose tourists to Cuba anyways, just because it's novelty, because no one has experienced Cuba. It's this illustrious gem, and that's what we need to figure out. How can we be the gem of the Caribbean and maintain it? And both of the cruise execs that were there from Carnival and Royal Caribbean said Cayman is not in jeopardy in that respect. They love us because we are safe. We have beautiful beaches. We have beautiful clear water. Yet that's the same part of what we're jeopardizing in switching, making these trade-offs that we are.
Well, we got callers on the line, but when it comes to Cuba, and I may not be politically correct in this, but seriously, they have to build piers because they can't trust them with tenders.
That's right.
Yeah. They'll be in Miami.
They're not.
No
they're
time.
Not
400 people.
Oh, yeah.
There's not a boat lift.
What are you're killing me right now.
Good morning, caller. How are you? Good morning, caller. Hello. All right, didn't hold on. 233-1019, 2331. No, but seriously, it's just be very honest.
I didn't even think about it like that.
You're gonna have another Mario.
They'll cross the cruise ship. They'll leave the dock and they'll wave the passengers on the way to the Florida Straits.
Hombre, come,
but,
amigo.
But you know what? It's funny that the government has taken such a steadfast position and have spent, I would have to assume, in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. To fight this people's initiative.
I would say at least 50,000.
To fight this people-initiated referendum.
We have put an FOI out asking, but
I think it's a lot more than that.
And it's funny that they based all of the potential revenue growth and all these things based on potential, and what is even more amazing about that is that not one single member from the ministry or from the ProPort side could accept a public debate either on this radio station, or they want to have it in Georgetown Harbor on the pier or on the street or on the wherever they want to have it. We're willing to have it. You know why? Because when we ask the question that we've been asking over the last 2 months and all the things that we want answers to, nobody's willing, because you know what? Quite frankly, I don't think they have the answers. I think that they're winging it like we've done everything else for 40 years. And now we see where we are. We're in a melting pot of disaster simply because there were no proper infrastructural design or no proper strategic planning for anything in Cayman. We allowed people to come to our shores and set up shop and wing everything, and we just accepted it and formulated regulations as we went along based on their input and allowed them to be unbridled for all these years. And now all of a sudden, here we are, the people who have evolved into a time and period of our history where we got more smart, educated, well-rounded, thought-out individuals who are now willing to participate or engage or trigger something that is rightfully given to us through Constitution. And now we're being fought by the very people who thought and saw the need to put it within the Constitution in 2009, which is really ironic.
Well, we got callers on the line. Good morning, caller. How are you this morning?
Hello, am I on the line?
Yes, ma'am, you are. Good morning. Happy Tuesday to you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I just wanted to call in and say I'm encouraged by the support and efforts of all the volunteers, as are many of the public. I wanted to stress the importance of the petition. It sparked a lot of debate. I listen to the shows all the time. There are people who say this is political, others who say this is against the port. But I'm a citizen and I'm not political. But what I do support is that I want to have a say in something of great national importance. Everyone who can should sign this petition and want to be a part of the process. It's how we are going to make a difference. That's all I wanted to say, and I support everyone and all the efforts that they're doing.
Well, thank you very much for calling in.
Thank you very much.
And articulating that. I mean, that to us, you see what you're saying right now is the greatest democracy tool in democracy right now, that you're able to express freely how you feel, and you should be able to do that as well vis-a-vis a referendum. So thank you very much for really utilizing democracy to its fullest degree.
Thank you.
All righty, we got another caller in line. Good morning, caller. How are you? Good morning, caller. Thank you for calling the Superior Auto Hotline. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me now? I feel like a Verizon commercial.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, brilliant. You're online.
Yeah, morning, Woody. Roger here.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Just a little quick statement about the parent town. I've signed a petition against it also, but I've been thinking about it a few days ago, and I said to myself, the only thing in my common sense I see could really work in town is where the Royal Water, concrete goes, as far as it goes now. And they're going to actually take that out further, right, into the water there to put these two long concrete piers off of that. And they got to dig into the ocean to put.
Right.
And I've been thinking to myself, why not, well, if they can do that, why not use a barge-style floating dock from that pier out into the 1,000-foot drop-off and put a T on it? It can be done. A barge-style floating dock.
Well,
you can make it, 10, 15 feet wide, and they float. It's just like what a barge looks like.
There was a proposal for a floating pier.
Yeah, Mr. Marion, Reginald Della Penna,
right,
and along with also the late Mr. Bo Miller, had presented a floating dock system that is now being utilized, believe it or not, of all places in Jamaica. I believe in where was that place that sunk again? Oh my, Port Royal. In Port Royal.
Yeah.
Jamaica, and that is now being utilized, and that is now being undertaken to mitigate the damage to marine environment as much as possible. And the unique thing about the system that Reginald Della Penna, we all call him Choppy, have presented is that it actually could be sunk. It could be submerged during rough weather, and so that it does not really move or break away or go anywhere down the line. It was actually quite a unique system. In fact, it was so significant that vehicular traffic could have been utilized on top of it as well, where you could have actually had buses that pick people up down the pier and so forth.
Have equipment.
Yeah, you're
Sold by
absolutely
the
correct.
court.
Right. Yeah. So all of those
Anyway,
things
that's
were on
one
the
point.
table.
I got to soon go. I don't want to cut you off with that. I have to soon leave. But the other point I wanted to say outside of the dock is that what I see happening here right now, I work at the airport every day, you know, running people from the airport to the hotels. And let me tell you what, they better start addressing the traffic problem around Georgetown and 7 Mile Beach pretty fast, because the way it's growing, it's going to get really bad within 5 years. I give it, it's going to be so bad you probably won't be able to move. We have to look out for the air arrival tourists now, too.
Wow.
I had some people in my car a few days that hadn't been here in 25 years. 25 years would have stayed at Harbour Heights. They're back there again. And the man said, what's all this traffic? I said, sir, you'll see a lot of difference in 25 years, you know? And from the Water Authority to the AL Town on about yesterday, I timed it. It took me 12 minutes on 2 of my trips just to get from there to there, to get to the beach on the bypass. You understand? I don't know what to do about traffic in cars and population growth and all this construction between Red Bay and Northwest Point. They look like they're building a barrier reef out of concrete. And all these places are selling for $700,000, $800,000, $1 million. The locals here can't buy it.
Nope.
You know, it's just gone to where it's moving so fast and developing so fast. It's freaking me out, to be frank with you, for stay-over tourists, you know, for the tranquility with traffic and everything else. That's what I want to mention. Government better get serious about dealing with this issue with traffic and cars right away, because it's going to get way out of whack. And I guess you all know, because you drive it yourself.
Yep.
You know? Anyway, you all have a good day.
You too, Thank you very much. If I may, just want to read something that came through.
Can I say something to his point? Because I think he touched on a lot of things that is exactly at the heart of what our arguments have been, right? You know, when they first announced this like 3 years ago, and they simultaneously they almost announced Georgetown revitalization,
right?
And we haven't heard anything about Georgetown revitalization in 3 years. All of a sudden, you know, we were making these arguments, and I think, you know, the government mentioned it once on the radio about Georgetown revitalization.
Well, we had the new town manager on for his very first interview.
I've heard that there are going to be no trees in Georgetown, which I'm completely disappointed about.
No, that's completely fake news.
Okay, well,
fake news.
I'm glad to hear that.
We had both the deputy chief officer on here, and also the town manager. In fact, is complete opposite. They're looking to put more trees within the whole entire environment to soften their approach.
That makes me very happy, because town is hot right now.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say about traffic is that was that last month they had Older Persons Month, and they had an event in town in front of the museum, and they closed waterfront.
Yes.
The traffic during that time was ridiculous. It took my roommate, who works at the PwC building, to get to my house on Walker's Road an hour and a half to get through town because of the traffic then. And don't forget Pirates Week is now. We got and every year they have that huge.
They snuck Pirates Weekend on us.
Huh?
They snunk Pirates Weekend.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't even know the district day schedules and all.
I went to West Bay Heritage Day last night. I was a little disappointed at the numbers.
It's different. It's different this time.
It's not good.
Instead of having it afterwards.
Yeah.
But
you know, they have that huge stage out on Friday, and they'll have the same thing, and I just don't understand how we're going to handle, because at one point I think part of revitalization was to close the waterfront road. And widening the roads doesn't, you know, like outside of it, to me, won't solve the problem, because unless you make it 2 lanes, you're still going to have the same traffic.
Pedestrianizing Georgetown. I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion.
But you know, that's my point, is that what are we doing in order to be able to facilitate people walking around Georgetown? Because right now they just cut across. They don't care, you know, like.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's just things that we have to think about when, you know, and I think he touched on it, you know, the traffic, and which is what we've been saying. But I know you have something you want to read.
No, I want to read this because I think it's pertinent.
Yeah.
And I ask her because, once again, I'm very cognizant of victimization in the Cayman Islands. So that's why I be the filter. I think I've grown a thick enough skin now to withstand a whole lot of it and the onslaught that is coming on a daily basis. And so this vendor at the craft market, you know, unsolicited, wrote the other evening, said that, you know, she listens, and she said I can use her name, but I'm not going to use it again because I read it last week. But this, to me, I think this needs to nail home of the numbers, what you were saying, the numbers, what she is saying, and then if you tie that together with what the Minister of Tourism for Bahamas is saying. All carries a common thread. And here it says, Dear Woody, today, this was last week. This was October 30th. Y'all can figure what day that was. Today, there were 5 cruise ships in the port. I made US $25. I'm at the Cayman Craft Market, and I've been there for the past 12 years. My best customers are stay-over clients. I've been against the port from the very first time I saw the pictures. There are so many unanswered questions, but the numbers simply do not make sense.
And here's a person that set up shop in Georgetown during cruise ship days.
You know, and to that point as well, too, my brother's getting married later this month, and he wanted to get his groomsmen Caymanite cufflinks. He went into one of the local jewelry shops and asked them. They couldn't have been less concerned about trying to promote local business. And he ended up going into a different store, and they said, go in town, go to the craft market, and there's someone there who makes Caymanite cufflinks. And he was so impressed. You know, that's the thing is people keep thinking that cruise tourists are bread and butter, but at the end of the day, most people say they make more money from stayover and local people than they do from cruise tourists. Well, you know, I mean, like, why are we not selling more Caymanite, you know, product? Why are we not selling more things made from conch and whelk? Because those are the things that you can get readily here, not these little cheap magnets and, you know, that say Cayman Islands that looks exactly like the one in Jamaica, just with Jamaica's name on it, you know, like
generic.
That to me, that goes to what we're saying is that people don't care, you know, and even in the jewelry shop, some of them don't necessarily care about the local product.
You know what? A lot of the local tour operators and stuff who are not subcontracted and have pre-existing contracts with the cruise ship, they'll tell you the harsh reality of that industry. You just go and have a sit down and talk with any of those individuals who have to stand outside of our mini-parliament downtown, and with a sign trying to get people who are filtering through who don't have pre-existing contracts. Right? I'll tell you this: I worked with immigration. I worked and clearing cruise ships for a very long time, and I remember one of the objectives one of the persons told me is that the cruise ship do everything in their power to keep people on their ship for as long as possible because they offer the same things on the ship as we offer on shore. However, when they call to our port, a lot of people want to go out to view the destination simply because a lot of them don't have the financial capability to fly over here for a week or two. So when they do stop to places like Jamaica, Cancun, Cayman, they have an opportunity to get off to at least visit the island and sightsee for a few hours. So if we were going to be real honest about everything, and again, I'm not here and I've never once beat up on cruise tourism again, but we have to talk about the realities of cruise tourism. And there are some people who spend and there are the majority who don't. Those are the people, and there are some people who come to Cayman, they see it, and they do return on an airline and spend money in the hotels and the rental cars and the restaurants and whatnot. But if we were to do an honest survey and an honest poll and we were to get those numbers, you will see that our emphasis when it comes to, if we want to generate more revenue and we want to increase the money being spent in the tourism sector, we could not deny that stayover passengers and stayover tourism is our bread and butter. If you go back to 1979, the report that was done by the United Nations, it clearly states out in the first 2 pages and the first 2 paragraphs that 50% of the Cayman Islands' energy is being spent on tourism, and that is the reality. And yet, for some reason, you know, we have done such a job in a way that we haven't been able to strike that balance. We haven't been able to recognize the importance of stayover the way that we should have. You know, throwing some paint and some arches on our airport is not going to fix the issue that we're currently experiencing at the airport. There's a lot of issues there that are not being addressed with this makeout. So our tourism product. So if it's funny that they say pro-port. It's funny that they have all of these initiatives for this one sector of our tourism and not concerned about our entire sector. When I asked the question at the meeting on the 26th of September to Mr. Cornell about why are we not showing the same amount of emphasis on the airport, he says to me, "Oh well, we are because we're renovating the airport right now. You're renovating the airport in the tune of $75 million to accommodate the same amount of people that you're accommodating prior to renovating.
Because it's already full.
So it's a counterproductive move. Yeah. You're not increasing you're not increasing the passengers that are coming in because you haven't extended the runway. You haven't taken into consideration the need for a longer runway to capture some of that transatlantic air flights that fly overhead every single day. The same synopsis and scenario that the Proport has used about ships passing us by every day, potential this and potential that, is the same exact thing with the airline. So I'm willing to have any public debate, conversation that is reasonable on the facts. I'm sure Michelle and everybody else involved with our movement would be glad to participate in any public forum and have these discussions, because we need to have this information. We have to have this information. So when you see a group of people of this magnitude has collectively come together to fight a certain cause, it's not because I can tell you if Michelle owns a tour business out there, I need to know, because and if I own one, I'm sure they would have already known. And if you look across the board, there's a lot of accusations and emotions and impulses being thrown into the mix, and you have to be able to digest those things without becoming too emotional. We have certain instances where when members of our group ask a question, and it's a very important question. I mean, I've heard Johan ask questions that people jaw drop and their eyebrows raise, but yet somehow they manage to deter or detract or sidestep the question. When you go back and you look at it, it's one of the most important questions. Well, who's going to be paying for this? Yeah. Who's going to be benefiting from it? Yeah. Can we see the plan? What's the overall business model? These are the things that we're asking, but yet we keep hearing them saying that, oh, come out and get the correct information so you can have your own opinion. Well, what correct information are you referring to? Is there some hidden drop box somewhere on your page that we haven't been able to access? Because I need to see it. So again, I encourage everybody in the Cayman Islands who have understood and heard all of the discussions back and forth. It's important that we participate. And I'll share this right before I cut myself off. We was at one of the district meetings. It was in Northside, and an older gentleman in Northside came to our table, and he came and he said to me, he said, Mario, he said, every single Caymanian and registered voter on our island should sign this petition. He said, and it's for many other reasons. He said, one, is to demonstrate that we can unite as a country, and two, that this is something of a matter of national importance, and not only the people in Georgetown, not only the people who are in the tour operate, not only the people that live in East End or North Side is going to be affected. He said all of us can be affected. And he said we can't pick up that port and sell it to the highest bidder, and we can't pick up the port and take it anywhere else if it's not done right. And I thought that was a very salient point that he made. And I think that when it comes from people who have lived in our society a lot longer than we have, that we must take that into consideration, because we can't disregard those individuals who saw the importance to preserve our environment so that we today could have something to fall back on. But yet here we are now willing to gamble it out simply because we want to increase our numbers to potentially generate revenue. I don't think I want to jump into that skip rope game.
Yeah, well, one of the things, sorry that you stepped on, with the U.S. elections going on, I've been kind of listening to what's happening there. And one of the things that I heard somebody say was you need to vote for the 50 million students that can't vote right now. And I feel like that's something that we need to think about, because one of the things that we've been saying is that, this is because this is a 25 to 30 year project that we're talking about. So this is for our children that we're talking about. So if you're concerned about what could potentially your children could be inheriting in 25 years, then you should be signing this petition, because to clarify what the previous caller said, he's like, oh, I signed this petition against the port. It's not against the port. Right. It is pro-democracy. It is pro having a say. It is completely neutral. It's not against the port. It's just saying that we as a country need to be able to go to the polls and unequivocally say yes or no. Yes, we're for it. No, we're not.
With an informed mind. With
an informed mind, exactly. But to me, that's why we should be signing this petition, because there are so many people. And, when we first started, we had, I think, 10 booklets that were for non-registered voters. Right. And the point of us doing that was to illustrate that, there are Caymanians that currently aren't registered to vote. Right. Because, they don't necessarily see that their voice affects change. And Caymanians that aren't registered to vote because they're under 18. And then also people that have been living here and benefited. Because, some of the most vocal advocates who have been with us have been like, Kathy Church and Courtney Platt. But those are both people that have lived here longer than I've been alive on this island. And they have just as much of a voice. And there's so many people that are, are in the midst of PR status or whatever. And those people, they should have a voice as well too. So you need to sign this petition if you're even remotely thinking about it, because it's for those people that cannot currently sign the petition. Why you need to sign this.
All right, I got to go and take a little break right now, but we got some messages, and someone sent me over a link as well, and it prompted my memory, but I just want to drop it to all of you. They were saying that the National Tourism Plan should just be open to everyone, but it's kind of a catch-22 with it. You need to register electronically your name, your email, before you can download the National Tourism Plan to your computer. And people are saying, how is this democracy? If I just want to be just anyone downloading it, I should be able to simply click it. It says you may download the draft National Tourism Plan for your information by completing the form below. I think if it's national, it should be open to anyone and everyone. And you can find that on www.visitcaymanislands.com. And you can go to the National Tourism Plan. You click on the icons in Business in Tourism. And that is where I was forwarded over. And it kind of prompted me. And I want to sincerely thank our listeners for sending those things through as well. I just think make the things, there was a group probably a little older than you remember, but I know Hits Mario and I, CNC Music Factory, they had a song that things to make it go,
More of Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101 and live on Cayman 27 is next.
I'm John Barry, and this is Songs and Stories. I believe in every song there's a story waiting to be told, and in every story there's a song waiting to be sung. Each week I'll have a friend stop by who will share great songs and personal stories in a unique setting that have been part of their life and career. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
It's a beautiful planet, and right now you can see it right here on Cayman 27. In this series, we'll travel to some of the most fascinating places as we explore the UNESCO heritage sites found around the world. From Stonehenge to the Grand Canyon, there are thousands of sites that will leave you in awe. Beautiful Planet is a series that will take a closer look into these wonders of the world. Join us to witness this beautiful planet.
Sometimes having a middleman is not a bad thing, especially when it comes to insurance. Do you know that when it comes to cost, ease, speed, and peace of mind, insurance brokers ranked higher than when customers buy direct? So, for all your insurance needs, call Fidelity Insurance. We're the middleman you want. Call us today at 949-7822. Fidelity. We're good for you.
Caroline Hobby, host of Nashville Insider, where we bring you the latest in country music news and happenings. Join us as we interview your favorite artists and go behind the scenes of country music's hottest events. Watch Nashville Insider right here on Cayman 27.
Calling the Superior Auto Hotline, 233-1019. Or message us on the Cayman Crosstalk Facebook page. Now, back to Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101 and simulcast live on Cayman 27.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for tuning in. Happy Tuesday to all of you. Thank you for tuning in to Cayman Crosstalk, and all of those that are tuning in around the world as well. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. We got callers on the line, which is 233-1019, 233-1019. And this in-studio number is sponsored by our wonderful friends at Superior Auto. Good morning, caller. Are you still there? Hello.
Good morning.
Very good morning to you. Happy Tuesday to you, ma'am.
Happy Tuesday to you, Woody, and your panelists. This is Carrie Tibbetts, and I just want to say, with respect to signing this petition, I think that the dark side of it, people need to also be aware of. When I signed the one-man, one-vote petitions, that went around, my entire life was turned upside down by the government. I became a victim of the government. They took my empire and they squashed it. They stigmatized me and threw me in front of several courts with trumped-up charges. Of course, I won every case. And the effects of that afterwards, what you have to go through, the victimization and having your applications denied, deferred, trying to get something else started and get back on your 2 feet. You have no idea the hell I went through after I got my name on that one man, one vote petition that went through. I'm just saying that people need to know that there's a dark side to these petitions. The government will single you out and they will victimize you. And they did it to me. So it's okay to tell people that they should, all the voters should sign this petition, but all the voters should also know that there are repercussions that come with signing these petitions. And I am one of those individuals that can stand up today and attest to the fact of what I was put through after I engaged in the support of the one man, one vote. Well, and I'm not signing any petition. I'm not saying I don't support it. I'm just saying I'm not putting my name on it because I can't go through that living hell in my own country that my government did to me. And that's the dark side that I want people to be aware of. My number is 917-8885. If anyone want to call me, I can show you the proof of what I went through for all the years and how much of my money that my government squashed my empire and took away from me with lies and trumped up charges. So people need to be aware there is a dark side to this. Our government is not as clean cut as we all think they are. You all have a good day. And I do support what you're doing, but my name can't go on it. Have a good day.
Well, caller, I got to ask you. I'll be honest with you. Hello? Is she still there? I just want to say, I think it's ironic. Please, that don't make no sense to me. Honestly, it don't make no sense to me. No, I'll tell you the reason why. The caller identified herself. I have a policy. You know, since I started, I don't call people's names.
Right.
Even though I can recognize their voices. I don't call people's names simply for the mere fact of what it is. But if you identify yourself, that is clearly your choice and prerogative, and then I will continue calling you that. But I don't understand. To me, it was the most, honestly, I got to say this with the greatest of respect and care for this. I thought that was the most ironic, erroneous conversation I've ever heard, for the mere fact that the caller identified herself clearly and said that she's for it, but she won't put her name to it. I'm sorry. This is in this day and age. You are Facebooked, you are on TV, and you're on broadcast, and you mention your name. So why the hell don't sign the flipping thing? I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? You know what's ironic about that is that she used her birth name and not her actual name that's on all of her identifications. And you know, it's unfortunate that she would come in and call and create that scaremongering tactic. But the reality is that a lot of people signed the one man, one vote. Many people, because the one man, one vote was passed, and now we have a one man, one vote electoral system. So if she's saying then that she has been victimized because of signing the one man, one vote, what happened to all of the 10,000 people who voted for it? So you telling me that there are 10,000 people who've been victimized similar to her? I don't think so. I think the reality is that she's not being honest as to why she feels she's been victimized. And I don't want to get into any personal exchange with her, but the reality is I don't appreciate her calling into this radio station, trying to discredit a petition that is for the people, by the people, and initiated for reasons of matter of national importance. So for her to suggest that everybody who signed the one man, one vote is subjected to victimization, she's 100% wrong. And the government don't need you to sign a petition to victimize you. That's a fact. You just got to get up and speak out publicly against their political agenda.
That was the irony. That was the irony.
And for her
that I found.
to call her name, and you know, when you see people that can change their name on a whim, those are people you got to be worried about.
I mean, I want to say that I'm very sorry to hear that you had that experience, because that makes me very scared that our government has, you know, and I know that there's a lot of people that feel that way, because a lot of civil servants feel that way, because it's been very difficult to convince civil servants who are allowed to sign. We have had many publications stating that civil servants can sign. And I have personally had civil servants come up to me who are in departments that don't have anything to do with planning, with tourism or any of this, saying, oh, I'm really actually quite nervous to sign that. So I am sorry to hear that you have had that experience. But I want to say that we have been very clear that we're going to keep names. We are not publishing names. Like, it's private. We have had people who have been concerned, oh, I'm employed by so-and-so, or, I'm a civil servant, or I'm this, or I'm that, and I am concerned, and people have signed it. And we are taking it very seriously.
Very serious.
That you have put your name on that paper, and that you have trusted us with that. And we have absolutely zero intention of publishing anything. We had an incident where we were concerned that somebody's name maybe had been broadcast, and we quickly, dealt with that. So I think that, again, I am very sorry to hear that you have had that experience, and I can't even imagine being victimized by the government. And, so I want to say that I empathize with what you said. And I just want to assure everyone that was listening to what she said, that, we are doing everything that we can in order to make sure that nobody is victimized because they're signing this petition, because you should not be victimized for signing this petition. And well, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I got to go and take this one break, Mario. And I know you got to leave at 9 o'clock. But I got to go and take this break. Those on the line, 233-1019, I'm going to get to you right as I get back.
More of Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101 and live on Cayman 27 is next.
It's the $7.99. Mobil One The Grid is your VIP pass behind the scenes across the world of motorsport.
You're going to see that aggression start from the Daytona 500 all the way up until the end of the year.
I feel for the guys, driving past as close as I can, as fast as I can.
A great win. Porsche win Le Mans.
It's wall-to-wall action. There's no room for error.
These trucks will jump 15, 20 feet in the air.
Have you had your Tortuga moment today? Come by Tortuga Fine Wine and Spirits for all your liquor needs. And taste the world-famous Tortuga rum and rum cake. Always delicious and baked fresh daily in the captivating Cayman Islands. With ongoing renovations at the airport, we invite you to shop our stores and buy before you fly. Relive the Cayman Islands in every bite.
We're on a mission to reinvent the way we look at sport. En route, we'll be meeting the biggest names and the brightest stars, looking to pinpoint the precision of success.
We're all born with some degree of athleticism. As you get to that top of the pyramid, it's the very small things that make the difference.
Work hard to stay focused, to get it done.
I know everything I did it for a reason.
You have to be a little bit insane, I think.
Dynafroze, Dragon's Revenge. One day, 4 boys from the future traveled back millions of years through time.
Once upon a time, deep under the sea, there lived a kind and clever little turtle named Tula.
Citizens of Lotus Valley, the hour is upon us. Our way of life is being dramatically threatened. You, the Alliance, are the last hope of freedom and the
Another cyclist accident in Bontown. What's up, everybody? I'm Doug Dodds. Here's today's top stories for the Cayman 27 newsroom. A cyclist is sent to the hospital after a Monday morning collision in Bontown. According to police, a Honda Civic and a cyclist collided at Christina Forbes intersection around 6 a.m. The cyclist was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And in other news today, the Department of Environment says it will no longer be accepting disembodied iguana heads due to last week's reports of headless iguana carcasses being dumped into canals and even at a boat launch facility across the island. To date, Colors delivered a total of 53,464 green iguanas to the counting station in the very first week. After an opening day total of more than 13,000, numbers took a bit of a dip for the rest of the week, but Tuesday through Sunday still averaged close to 8,000 iguanas per day. And finally today, Auditor General Sue Winspear has flagged government's slow implementation of recommendations coming out of her office reports. Winspear says that 8 reports produced by her office, recommendations in just 2 of them have been fully implemented. Winspear added she was also concerned that some of the original recommendations was with limited or no progress to date, going back as far as May of 2015. For more news on these stories and others, click on Cayman27.ky or watch the news tonight at 6 with a replay at 7. For Hurley's Media, I'm Doug Dodds. Have a great day.
Be a part of the conversation on Cayman Crosstalk by calling the Superior Auto Hotline, 233-1019, or message us on the Cayman Crosstalk Facebook page. Now, back to Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101 and simulcast live on Cayman 27.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, happy Tuesday to all of you. Thank you all very much for tuning in to Cayman Crosstalk. There's callers on the line, and I'm just going to bypass all my normal things that I'm going to do because time is the essence. Hello, caller? All right. Hello, caller.
Hi, good morning, Woody, and good morning to my sidekicks.
Wow, morning.
Morning.
And Mr. Mario. How's it going, guys?
Good. How are you?
Good morning, sir.
Hey, first of all, just want to say, picking up on that last caller, if we reach a stage in the Cayman Islands where people are, and Mario made the point, you don't need to sign a petition in order to be blackballed and to face some sort of scrutiny and persecution from the government. That speaks to the intent and the character of the individuals in leadership positions. What we as a voting public need to do is to remove that type of character, that type of tyrannical behavior from elected office and from leadership positions, because that's the only way you change the system, is to cut out the cancers and those that would try to deprive each and every law-abiding citizen from exercising their democratic rights. The hypocrisy that exists in the system is nauseating at best, but he who feels it knows it, and whatever the last caller attributed to her problems, that's her situation. But there are enough of us who understand the game, who are accurately calling it what it is. It's politics. Some people misrepresent the facts, whether they be private citizens, some if they're elected or unelected gods in government. But we as a country need to call them out, expose them, and more importantly, use our rights to remove them from office so that ever harm another law-abiding Caymanian citizen and voter. That is the power that rests within us, and we need to remember these instances when we hit the polls. Now on to the referendum. Guys, you guys show up, and the other volunteers, a million thank yous. This is one of the greatest movements that Cayman has ever seen because it encompasses every type of Caymanian: white, black, green, first generation, multi-generation, rich, poor, whatever. And that's the strength of how people feel about this. The project will be the largest, most complex, most expensive capital works project in the history of the Cayman Islands. The government have been kind enough to suggest that the project would cost 200 million CI. Ladies and gentlemen, that is humanly impossible. First of all, the government don't have a track record of successfully managing any project whatsoever. This government in particular, if you doubt me, look at the airport. They had a budget of 55 million. We've gone way past that, and that's dealing with land where you're not having to dredge anything. Can you imagine what the mess will be like when they go into the sea and they have to put down pilings and dredgings and everything else? Secondly, when they talk about it's an open and transparent process and they're being honest with the people, ladies and gentlemen, when the government are honest and open and transparent, you don't have bidders up on a stage with the procurement office, with the Minister of Tourism, with the chief officer trying to tell the people at a public meeting, which they did on September the 26th, what is best for us. Nothing about that alone represents highest standards of international best practice and procurement or transparency. They opened us, the country, and the people of the Cayman Islands to potential lawsuits by virtue of showing preferential treatment to one set of bidders whilst the other two bidders, and we know who they are. We know who they are. There's a French bid, and I can't pronounce the name because I'm driving, and it's Czech. Those are the three games. Those are the three players in the game. I challenge the government to say otherwise. You know why I'm so disgusted with the performance of our government? At that same meeting, they told us we need the port in order to facilitate the same number of cruise passengers, which is between 1.6 and 1.9 million. Now, ladies and gentlemen, during the course of that meeting, that changed to, well, we're going to try to facilitate 2.4 million, and then the tendering fee for that or the fee for that would change. Ladies and gentlemen, a month later, they're now telling the country that the project is going to facilitate 2.3 million cruise passengers per year. Why weren't they clear enough, brave enough, and honest enough to say that at the public meeting? You know why? The numbers scare them. They know that once people take out their calculator, abacus, or start doing long-form math, that a lot more questions will come out. Where are you going to put 2.3 to 3 million passengers? There is no Tiki Beach. There's no Royal Palm. You can't put them on the public beach. Where is the public beach accesses that these passengers are going to go to when everybody who comes to the Cayman Islands wants to do one thing: swim in the crystal blue waters of the 7 Mile Beach and walk along the beautiful sand? So unless they're creating new beaches, and you hear all sorts of stories about it, the government has to get back to answering basic questions like, where are you going to put 2.3 million passengers? Because not everybody wants to go to the turtle farm. Not everybody wants to go to the dolphin center. Not everybody wants to shop in a duty-free store. They come here for an experience. They come here for the water. They come here for that Caribbean flavor. Taking them into the bush somewhere where you got to dig up seagrass and all the rest of it, I don't really think that that's where anybody wants to go and spend their money on a tour, especially when we market ourselves as the 7 Mile Beach is the jewel of the Caribbean, so on and so forth. So that's a question that they have to answer. But what comes out of that question is there infrastructure to facilitate 2.3 to 3 million passengers? I don't see it, and I work in Georgetown every day. If you have 12,000 passengers per day, Georgetown is like a cattle market. There's not enough space on the sidewalks for people to walk up and down. So therefore, from a risk perspective, what are you going to do when you unload that many people on the existing infrastructure of Georgetown, but you've done nothing to improve the infrastructure of Georgetown? And please, 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 don't believe that revitalization is the solution. If they were serious, they would have started that years ago. You're telling me now that you're going to now revitalize Georgetown, which really, in truth, sounds a lot more like beautification as opposed to the revitalization of Georgetown, but will allow them to share with us what the grand plan is. The second point that I'm going to make is this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the one chance that you get to have a voice on the largest, most expensive, most complex capital works project in the history of our country. They're saying that it's going to cost $200 million. It's going to cost somewhere between $200 and $400 million. My name is Renard Johan Moxham. You can call me at 926-0984. There is nothing about the current minister, about the current government, about the current premier, about the current cabinet that basically should fill any of us with the confidence that they can deliver on anything. We have a monument to their idea of project management in a $110 million Clifton Hunter High School, where people still can't read, still graduating, still not performing. So it's not about the physical infrastructure per se. They told us that those schools were going to cost, what, $50 to $60 million? Where are we now? Their track record speaks volumes. They're messing up and extending the airport, which is very, very necessary, to the tune of what? Basic project management skills do not exist. They then tell us, well, we're not going to be paying for it. Who's going to be paying for it? Because if they can tell you at the very beginning of this, we're going to use the tendering fees to pay for the project. When you have 6 and 8 cruise ships, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You still need to tender. So you can't use the $5 a head that they're currently getting to pay for a project over 25 years that's going to cost anything between $200 and $400 million unless you're not going to be charged interest. And ladies and gentlemen, none of this is free. There is no free lunch. The fact that they're going to tell us who can read and understand, oh, the new EIA will come after we choose the bidder. No. We're the government. We set the standard of what we want to come out of these sort of reports. We don't want to pay anybody to provide an EIA that basically is fit for their purpose. Because guess what? They're going to be paying for it. The fact that they removed Gina Petrie and they didn't involve DOE at this stage lets you know that's where you have to smell the rat and where they have been lying to us. Sorry, I shouldn't say lying. That's bad. They have been less than economical with the truth, and they have been misrepresenting the facts, because this thing is driven by a handful of individuals and companies that are the beneficiaries of government-sponsored corporate welfare. And it doesn't matter how you nice it up, what kind of nice words you use. That is what this project is all about. Because if they couldn't be honest with you at their meeting where come and get the facts, they couldn't give you any facts. And then the cruise lines really jammed them up by saying, well, no, we're going to still come to Cayman. We're just not going to bring our big ships. But Cayman's not a threat at all, which is a direct contradiction from everything that they've been saying. And what's worse, they've been using a campaign on the radio, on TV, and in the print that everybody's against cruise tourism. And we've been saying that we don't need cruise tourism. I've never said it. Nobody that I'm associated with in CPR has said it. And I haven't heard anybody else say it. So where are these ghosts coming from in order to justify government-sponsored corporate welfare? We are smarter than this as a country. We are smarter than this as a people. And we have to see the forest for the trees. This administration, this minister, this cabinet have been misrepresenting the facts from day one. The question is why? We deserve to know the truth. We deserve all the facts, and we're a lot smarter than you give us credit for. That's why people like me stand up, speak out, ask questions, and drill down further, because what they've been telling us is hogwash. So dropping off to school now. Gotta go. See you guys later.
Bye.
All righty. I got to go and take a break right now as well, and I just want to let all of those know on the line, 233-1019, that Mr. Mario Rankin had to leave. And we're going to be taking your calls as well. And I just got to go and take this last little break here.
More of Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101 and live on Cayman 27 is next.
Burger King's. Make the most of your morning at Burger King with Burger King's unbeatable breakfast special. 2 sandwiches for just $4. Take 2 bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches, 2 sausage, egg, and cheese, or mix and match. Add a refreshing OJ or delicious hash browns, plus tea or coffee for a true breakfast of champions. 2 sandwiches for just $4, available until 10:30 weekdays and 11 a.m. on weekends. Only at Burger King, 7 Mile Beach, Waterfront, Walkers Road, Town Center Plaza, and now Red Bay.
We're not just the most reliable energy service in the Caribbean. Whether it's for your entertainment, lighting a path to your future, or making sure that you and your family are secure. We're there for you when it matters most. Your safety and our reliability are our top priority. We are committed to remaining the #1 utility service in the Caribbean. We are CUC.
This week on Nashville Insider, find out which of your favorite artists are nominated for the 52nd Annual CMA Awards. Then, Dan and Shay toast to their latest #1 hit, Tequila, and give a big thanks to fans. We chat with the stars of Beautifully Broken. They're on the red carpet for the film's big premiere. And does this face look familiar? We'll talk to funny man Cletus T. Judd as he makes his country music comeback.
Eclipse Hair Design and Day Spa. Discover the difference.
Or message us on the Cayman Crosstalk Facebook page. Now, back to Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101 and simulcast live on Cayman 27.
The opinions expressed by Cayman Crosstalk, its hosts, callers, or guests are not those of Hurley's Media or its sponsors.
Here are your latest news headlines from the Cayman 27 News Team on Rooster 101's Cayman Crosstalk. Now, here's the news. Another cyclist accident in Bontown. What's up, everybody? I'm Doug Dodds. Here's today's top stories for the Cayman 27 newsroom. A cyclist is sent to the hospital after a Monday morning collision in Bontown. According to police, a Honda Civic and a cyclist collided at Christina Forbes intersection around 6 a.m. The cyclist was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And in other news today, the Department of Environment says it will no longer be accepting disembodied iguana heads due to last week's report of headless iguana carcasses being dumped into canals and even at a boat launch facility across the island. To date, Colors delivered a total of 53,464 green iguanas to the counting station in the very first week. After an opening day total of more than 13,000, numbers took a bit of a dip for the rest of the week, but Tuesday through Sunday still averaged close to 8,000 iguanas per day. And finally today, Auditor General Sue Winspear has flagged government's slow implementation of recommendations coming out of her office reports. Winspear says that 8 reports produced by her office recommendations, in just 2 of them have been fully implemented. Winspear added she was also concerned that some of the original recommendations was with limited or no progress to date, going back as far as May of 2015. For more news on these stories and others, click on Cayman27.ky or watch the news tonight at 6 with a replay at 7. For Hurley's Media, I'm Doug Dodds. Have a great day.
Be a part of the conversation on Cayman Crosstalk by calling the Superior Auto Hotline, 233-1019, or message us on the Cayman Crosstalk Facebook page. Now, back to Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101 and simulcast live on Cayman 27.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, happy Tuesday to all of you. The lines are lit like Christmas morning, and I just want to sincerely thank all of you. That's 233-1019, 233-1019, and it's sponsored by Superior Auto. I'm going to hit the lines and see whether or not they're still there. Hello, caller. All right. Good morning, caller. Hello, caller. Good morning, caller. 233-1019, 233-1019. And we're here this morning, if you're just tuning in right now, we're here this morning talking with Miss Michelle Lockwood of the People Initiated Referendum, for short, CPR, and talking about their updates and so forth, and also giving thanks to the many volunteers. And she's basically saying they're a fingernail, I wouldn't even say toenail, a fingernail away from meeting the threshold, but they're giving themselves, and they want to give themselves a buffer.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're saying that.
Of 1,500 extra signatures over and above what the threshold is. And they're just about there. They're going through the auditing phase right now. And she's here just to say thank you to all the volunteers, to those whom were brave enough to see democracy work and so forth of that nature. And if anyone knew, I was one of myself and Mr. Moxham and all of those ones moved to have one person, one vote. So I would say to everyone, utilize your beautiful democracy to the best of your advantage. And as Mr. Moxham said, and I echo his statements, there's more of us. If all of us get together, we can thwart the nasty mind and the vindictive nature of whomever wants to victimize you. The number in the studios is 233-1019, 233-1019, and is sponsored by our wonderful friends at Superior Auto. All lines are lit. Let's just go with the first one that's green. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Very good morning to you. Happy Tuesday to you. Thank you very much for calling to Superior Auto studio number.
Thank you. This is Naomi. I'm not sure if you're hearing me properly.
Yes.
Oh, yes. And
okay.
I miss you, Naomi. You came here and you launched it and you left me.
Yeah, I've been behind the scenes a bit, but very happy to hear Mario and Michelle and you being so vocal on this topic. It's been amazing to call in, and quite often, by the time I get notice that you guys are on the radio, I'm in traffic and it's too late to call in. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of you guys have been doing and saying. A lot of great points raised this morning, and I think it's really important to continue just discussing it openly. And, you know, along the way, more and more people will speak up, and we discover new things all the time. Like, you know, this morning when it was mentioned that the woman in Georgetown saying that she earned $25 on a very busy day. Like, that's something that these things are coming up, and as they come up, you know, we have to address them. We have to take into account that this situation is much bigger than just the port, and it is, you know, opening up our questions about the airport, about the unfinished schools, about, you know, what it is that's happening in society, traffic, and things like that. You know, how is this going to affect taxi drivers and stay-over guests? You know, this whole process for me is very new, and this is probably, I think, one of the things that's very valuable for us as a people and the public is that we are going to be engaging so many people on this topic, and sometimes it's just the relationships that you build, the awareness that you get out of the society that we're in. That's really valuable. You know, just knowing what it is to respond on the radio, or what it means to write a press release, or what it means to engage on a topic that is so hugely political. All of that is important, and just being able to go out there and talk to people who are not registered to vote and say, hey, this is your country. Why aren't you registered to vote? You know, on one weekend a few months ago, before the petition had actually launched, I spoke to 6 young Caymanians, and 5 of those Caymanians were not registered to vote, but had grown up here and lived here most of their lives. And one Caymanian had only had status for 1 year, and then he went and got registered to vote almost immediately. So I do think, you know, there is a certain amount of awareness that's coming to the public about your engagement as a citizen and how valuable that is. You know, and we can't let fear of how people are going to respond, whether it's vindictiveness or spite or whatever it is, can't let that fear stop us. Because imagine how many great things that we needed in history would have stopped if people were afraid. And I think, you know, when we're not engaging with the right questions and we're not really making it public that we want answers or we really want something better for Cayman, mediocrity is going to continue. And it's only when you are vocal and you challenge it and you say something passionate about it and you're saying, look, I'm not afraid because I know this is the right thing, that's when people begin to change. And I think it's important for the public to see that this people-initiated referendum is important, and it is something we can do, and it is something that, going forward, we'll need to have more and more exercise on how we're engaging democracy. We can't be afraid to engage democracy, and, you know, it's the thing that's going to bring change if we want change to happen in certain areas. And the last thing I wanted to say is that, you know, at the end of it, we know that whatever the outcome is on a people-initiated referendum, whether the people vote for the proposed port in the Georgetown Harbor or they vote against it, you know, we have to make peace with that. A lot of the people, a lot of the volunteers and people who are spending their time on this issue, they know that at the end of it, it's not about us. I mean, we're wanting people to see their democratic right, and we're wanting people to see what it is they can make a difference in on a number of areas, and not just the port, because there are so many things going on in Cayman that people need to have a voice on. And the last thing I'll say is, you know, I truly wonder whether or not democracy is as accessible as it should be in Cayman, because to me, one of the things you need to have people very active in democracy is that they need to be aware and they need to be educated. And so many people who come and sign the petition are not just coming to sign the petition, but they're also coming to be educated. They don't understand what the petition really is or what the Constitution says. They don't truly understand what a referendum is. They don't really understand some of the things that have been discussed at the public meetings or in the media. So they're also coming to us to be educated. And really and truly, I do believe it is the job of the government to educate its public. I mean, I don't know if I can truly say that democracy is accessible with the way things are going, because we are leaving democracy and access to democracy and education about these things to a small group of people. And I honestly cannot say that, you know, senior citizens know exactly where to go or how to engage the government, or maybe young people, they don't really know. Even if you're under the age of 18, you're a citizen in Cayman, and you should know how to access information and how to engage your government and be able to do that freely without being concerned. So that's just my 2 cents this morning. I just want to thank you guys so much for all that you're doing. And yeah, I look forward to so much more coming out of this.
All right, caller, thank you very much. And I'm going to go straight to the other phone lines as well. Good morning, caller. Thank you very much for calling the Superior Auto in studio number. Hello. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Very good
Hello.
morning to you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you hearing me?
Loud and clear.
Good. No, we just have to fight for the younger people. In their lives now, they're so busy trying to survive in the, the economic time of Cayman and of the world, that the older ones have to push for their sakes. It's very hard on a lot of the younger people to pay rent, to pay everything. So the older people need to stand up for them right now. And we also have to encourage them to also stand up for themselves. I have two things to say other than this. The bigger companies in town, why have they not looked to see what these big mega shops have on board? Do they not realize these mega ships are out buying them, that they're getting the things cheaper than what a small island can provide? They're not going to buy in our shops. They're going to buy on board the ship. That's one. And who are we making these jobs for? Because if we're going to have so many more, people to come in to work for these different companies, it's not going to be the Caymanians that are not getting the jobs. It's going to be other people. Who are we making these jobs for? Number three, basically, I said two. Number three, right now, the workers here cannot even afford to pay rent on the island. They can't. I mean, there's not enough places anymore, and you're going to have 6, 7 people in one room. Is that what we want for Cayman? We don't want that. We want what it used to be, that you could get a decent place to live and you didn't have to pack 6, 7, 8 people in one room. It just destroys the whole island when you see what's happening. But we do have to stand up for the young people, and we do have to fight for everything that Cayman has to offer. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for calling in. Ms. Lockwood, I got a question that came through. And on those on the line as well, 233-1019. Please hold on. 233-1019. And the in-studio number sponsored by Superior Auto. So the question is the reason for the desired buffer of 1,500 signatures due to the organizers not being sure how many of those whom have signed the petition thus far are actually registered voters?
To a certain extent, there's a bit of a concern because we've had some people signing, some people saying, oh, I registered in my maiden name, I'm married now. And, it's just to have a buffer in general. Like, there's some people who have been, like, unequivocally, like, I am registered to vote, but when we look them up online, we can't find their name. It might be that their names have been removed from the list for whatever reason because they haven't updated their address or whatever. So yes, to some extent, it is to make sure that we have the buffer because we are concerned that, there's potential that the elections office could throw out some of the names that have signed because they might not have signed in there, which is why if you are planning on signing this, make sure that you look up online, check with the elections office, make sure you're still registered, make sure that all of your information is up to date because all of that is what they're going to use to verify the signature. Also make sure that you're signing with the name that you are registered under. And if you haven't done all of that stuff, it's stuff that you have to do. You have to make sure that, if you've changed your name, if you've been married, divorced, whatever, or you've changed your address, because it changes what district that you're voting in as well, too. So just make sure all of that is up to date. Especially now that, there's no election coming up, very soon. So now's a good time to do it because there's, you can go in there and there's nobody waiting. There's no long lines now. So, it's just to have a buffer to make sure. Also, we just don't want the government to say, oh, no, they couldn't sign because they're a civil servant or whatever. So we just need to make sure that, we have that little bit of a buffer. So, yeah.
Well, it was reasonable.
Yeah.
All right, caller. Good morning, caller. How are you this morning? Or didn't hold on. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. I missed you.
This is Georgia D. Banks, and good morning to Michelle, my darling. I am so proud of you. I know your mother and all your family, they must be just bursting with pride.
Thank you.
And you don't let anybody, any person or group of people discourage you, because I believe you are doing the right thing. Imagine, I'm an old lady, but I have grandchildren, hope to have great, even if I don't live to see them, but I wouldn't like to know that they would be left to face that gigantic amount of money that I don't know what to call it, that undertaking out in the water is going to cost. It's going to cost much, much more than a lot of people believe. And I am one of those people. Look at what happened up at the airport. They've run overboard already. Anyway, may God continue to bless you, sweetheart, in all your efforts. And Mr. Mario that was there a while ago too, and anyone else who is joining in with you. And my eyesight is very, very bad now, but I tell you, I would stand at the head of the line any day because I love my island. I was born here, and if it's God's will, I hope to die here and be buried here. I've done a lot of traveling, but this island is the best place in the whole world. That's why when people come here, they don't want to leave. And Michelle, I beg you, sweetheart, don't listen to those people and groups who will try to keep you from doing what you believe is right, because I am sure as I'm sitting here in my dining room, that you are doing the right thing. I love you. I haven't met you yet, but I've known your mother all her life, and I love her, and I knew your grandma. I know your whole family.
I know.
But the most important thing of all, remember, sweetheart, God loves you most of all, and He will give you strength to go on fighting for what is right. God bless. Bye.
All right. Thank you. It means a lot to hear things like that because, you know, once I started doing this, my mom has had many a time where she's cried over this and been like, I'm so proud of you, my dear. So it means a lot to have somebody like her who fought for my right as a woman in this country to be able to have the voice that I have now. So it means a lot for someone like her to call in and say something like that, because I found my voice now and I have no intention of stopping.
I hear you there, girl.
But to the caller that called before, you know, there's a couple of points that she mentioned about, you know, the duty free and stuff. I don't know all of the ins and outs of the cruise ship, but I did used to work at one of the duty free shops when I was, you know, like during summer breaks and stuff and Christmas breaks. And one of the things that a lot of cruise tourists used to say when they came in is, oh, well, you know, it's cool, it's nice, but you know what? We can spend more time and think about it when we're on the ship because they have the same stuff on the ship. And I always used to have to sort of make the argument that, well, you know, it's actually cheaper here than it is on the ship. I don't know if that's still the case because I will say that was like 10, 12 years ago. But that was one of the arguments that I had. And there are people that come off the ship that have done quite a bit of research. Like I remember selling a Rolex to someone who literally beelined to the Rolex counter and was like, this is the one I want. And I actually he ended up convincing someone next to him to buy a Rolex who was kind of like on the fence about it because I can't remember. And again, I don't know if these are still the numbers, but I know that they used to be like 2 to 5% cheaper than they were in the U.S.
Oh, much cheaper.
Yeah.
Much more discounted than that.
Yeah. And so this guy had done all the research and he was like, this is the cheapest jurisdiction to buy a Rolex in. And he bought it. He knew exactly which one he wanted. He's like, that's what I want. It was no convincing him. He knew what he wanted. And he convinced the guy next to him because the guy was kind of on the fence. But he's like, I'm telling you, man, this is the cheapest that you're going to get it. So I don't know if what her point about the duty-free shops. And it is true that I think that a lot of the shops are on the ship, but I don't know necessarily that the argument saying that it's not cheaper on island. I'm not sure. So it's just one thing that I query. But, there are a lot of things that you have to think about with all of this. And, that's just why we have the questions that we have. There's so much about the infrastructure. There's so much about the beach access, the numbers. So many callers have pointed that out, and the numbers keep changing with what the government's saying as well, too. Because even to my point, I had a point about, how much time are they actually going to spend extra on island? Because, the argument was, and I've read it in the Baird report, that the disembarkation rate would remain the same. Yet at that meeting, the Minister of Tourism said, it's going to double from the 4 hours that they're currently spending, even though that doesn't seem to be the average on other jurisdictions, the upper limit of what people spend. And, he even made the statement that, people can go east and on top of that, even go to the BRAC all on the same day when they got off these cruise ships. But within the same meeting, when I asked my question, I think it was Mr. Joey Woods that made the argument that actually, you add 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 25 minutes here. But when you add it all up, it added up to an hour. So, there are so many. I think another point that she made as well, too, is what about the jobs that they're talking about 900 extra jobs. And there was somebody at that meeting that made a really good point that was like, what are these jobs? What are the qualifications for these jobs? And what are we doing to make sure that Caymanians are filling these jobs in 3 years when we're ready for them to be filled? I mean, I'm sure some of the jobs include construction. But, what are we doing? And I do remember Minister Kirkconnell saying that he would be getting the details of those 900 jobs. And that was on the 26th of September. It is now the 6th of November. And I still don't believe that we have had any details of these 900 jobs that were promised, So there's still so many things that we're questioning and things that we still haven't had answers to, even though that meeting was to get the facts, to get answers to the questions. There's more questions, and the questions that were asked are still not being answered.
All right, and I got to go and take a little break right now, but some of the things came through. Mr. Moxham posted online saying, Miss Georgette deserves the highest award possible for service to our country, plus always being 100% clear about doing the right thing for our country. Mad respect and thank you for using your voice over several decades. I read that because I know my dear mentor, Miss Georgette, does not Facebook, so I'll read that for her. But we'll be right back after this short message. Plus, I got some text and so forth that came through as well, which I wouldn't mind sharing. And then people are asking you, and maybe when you come back, you can answer this question, asking you, are you actually going out into immediate areas to collect signatures to maybe those that really can't make it because of work constraints and so forth, and highlight where your petition is located, or if it's taken off the shelves now for you all basically to make sure that you count and reconcile and audit.
More of Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101 and live on Cayman 27 is next.
The flavor with a beat. Black thing now move up him dancing feet. We dance them flavor with a beat. Holy sauce, yeah, we acting on the street. Young middle age or old, move your feet. When Grace if we dance, everybody have to do it.
Grace, feel the vibe, can't you feel it? Grace, delicious, so nutritious. Yes, quality when you taste it. Want affordable? Look for the label.
Flavor we are flavor because the spice is flaring. Flavor with a beat, no other brand than the near way.
One taste and you know Grace is real.
Premier League is back. Sign up for the Sports Pack today and fuel your passion for football. Sports is life, only on Flow.
Some say the time of miracles is past, but we see miracles all around us, every day. Some could not walk. Some could not breathe. Some had lost all hope. But something amazing happened. Something that can't be analyzed or quantified. Something that is more than good medicine. Holy Cross.
Champion House Restaurant, serving Cayman for over 30 years. Start your day off right with our breakfast, fruits, pastries, hot cereals, entree, and so much more. Stop by for lunch. Our buffet offers salad, soup, entrees, and desserts. Check out our website for details on our new dinner menu. And don't forget about catering. We can customize any menu to suit your needs. Champion House Restaurant, where the islanders dine.
Very much for tuning in to Cayman Crosstalk. Happy Tuesday to all of you. If you're just tuning in right now, I have Miss Michelle Lockwood from, Cruise Port Referendum, Cayman CPR, and there's a special guest of the opposition this morning, and they're talking about their people-initiated referendum, that they're basically just right there to just reconciling and would like a buffer of a minimum of 1,500 signatures to make sure that no one is really disqualified or removed from the list, to thwart basically all the efforts that they've done, and to really just make sure that everyone that worked pretty difficult and pretty hard to collect those signatures are going to be rewarded with that. So they're just being uber cautious to make sure that there's not people signing their names and then not really being legitimate just for nastiness sake. Those things do happen. And if you want to call in, the number in the studios is 233-1019, 233-1019. I'm going to read some stuff that came through. It says, it is so sad to know that some people feel that government can come after them if they take part in the fight for a better future for our people, for generations to come. If some people start to think this way, we have a sincere, serious problem. And we need to be very careful when people would start to do bad things to anyone that they feel is not putting things in the place, make life better for everyone. And it can be a problem for anyone to take part in any democratic right afforded them in this country. We will not sit down and let the leaders of this country believe that we will sit back and let them get away with the same mistakes from what the previous governments have done and have made again and again. With mismanagement of public funds and bad business practices, the head maid of the government has in the past and will stand to make sure no mistake won't happen with us sitting down. And so that is just one that came through, and some that came through as well. It's from earlier. It says the caller stated that she was victimized because of signing a petition. It is common knowledge that she had issues separate and apart because she has involved herself in controversial issues that brings those type of attacks to her immediate doorstep. And here's some others that came through, and simply saying that, all right, are these people for real? If they're talking about signing the petition is not against the cruise berthing, you heard the premier and you heard the deputy premier clearly state that signing the petition now will endanger any possibilities of a cruise berthing facility being constructed, at least in this administration. So why are they camouflaging this thing, saying that they want to be more transparent actions when you cannot get more transparent than what has been presented so far?
Well, first off, I think that it's I don't know if I want to say it's scaremongering, but it has been scaremongering. The thing is that the government is undertaking a project, which, as you know, some other callers have stated, that they haven't really shown that they've been great at project management in the past. You know, looking at the schools, looking at the airport, they haven't given us a lot of information because there's still so many questions that we've had, like, you know, where's the updated EIA? How much is this going to cost? I know that they've thrown out the number 200,000, and I know that
200 million.
200 million.
I wish it was 200,000. You would be complaining right now.
200 million. But you know, going by what other projects has happened and how much over budget they've gone, we're concerned for, my generation, we're concerned for everybody, really. We're concerned for the younger generation. We're concerned that there are a lot of things that haven't been disclosed that we don't know. And we want to know whether or not we're getting the best deal out of this, right? So if this goes through as currently, it's going, and it goes through and it's not the best deal for us, we have no recourse at that point to be able to say, this isn't right for the country. This is the only opportunity that we have now to be able to say, we want more information and we want to be informed and we want to make a decision. The other argument that has been stated is that, they ran on the mandate. We've all said a bunch of times that, unfortunately they didn't win the election. It's a coalition unity government. And therefore, whatever mandate they ran on, they lost the PPM government lost 2 seats. So to say that they won the government and they therefore have mandate is not true. The CDP government, which formed this coalition government, did not run on a mandate of building it. They said that they would look into what was the best possible thing, best option for Cayman. We are not against Crew's birthing facility, and the statement in our petition says that it being a matter of national importance be decided by referendum. So no, it is not against the Crew's birthing facility. And at the end of the day, once this goes to referendum and whatever decision is made, we will respect it, because at the end of the day, we'll be able to say the country was informed and they were able to go to the polls and to be able to make a decision properly.
All right, I got to take a little quick break right now, but I got another WhatsApp that I wouldn't mind going through again and highlighting when, where, and what you're doing to account for additional signatures.
More of Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101 and live on Cayman 27 is next.
Bogle Insurance Brokers Limited are professional, independent insurance brokers established in 1988. We are a wholly Caymanian-owned insurance broker with a wealth of knowledge in the local and international insurance market. Our professional team service clients with a range of insurance products, including motor, home, health, contractors, marine, and business insurance, among others. Contact us at 949-0579 or email us at service@bogleins.com.
Come receive your miracle, your healing, salvation, encouragement. Hear the word of the Lord from David Turner, Monday to Wednesday, November 5 to 7 at 7 p.m. at Town Hall, Georgetown, 42 4th Street, Grand Cayman. Admission free. Call 345-925-7798 or email info@avodaproductions.com. Experience healing through worship. Experience the anointing as David Turner ministers. Don't you miss it.
A timely response. That matters. Owning your own home. That matters. Supporting our community. That matters. When your child smiles, that matters. Good encounters, great experiences. It matters at Cayman National.
Another cyclist accident in Bontown. What's up, everybody? I'm Doug Dodds. Here's today's top stories for the Cayman 27 newsroom. A cyclist is sent to the hospital after a Monday morning collision in Bontown. According to police, a Honda Civic and a cyclist collided at Christina Forbes intersection around 6 a.m. The cyclist was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And in other news today, the Department of Environment says it will no longer be accepting disembodied iguana heads due to last week's report of headless iguana carcasses being dumped into canals, and even at a boat launch facility across the island. To date, Colors delivered a total of 53,464 green iguanas to the counting station in the very first week. After an opening day total of more than 13,000, numbers took a bit of a dip for the rest of the week, but Tuesday through Sunday still averaged close to 8,000 iguanas per day. And finally today, Auditor General Sue Winspear has flagged government's slow implementation of recommendations coming out of her office reports. Winspear says that 8 reports produced by her office recommendations, in just 2 of them have been fully implemented. Winspear added she was also concerned that some of the original recommendations was with limited or no progress to date, going back as far as May of 2015. For more news on these stories and others, click on Cayman27.ky or watch the news tonight at 6 with a replay at 7. For Hurley's Media, I'm Doug Dodds. Have a great day.
Be a part of the conversation on Cayman Crosstalk by calling the Superior Auto Hotline, 233-1019, or message us on the Cayman Crosstalk Facebook page. Now, back to Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101 and simulcast live on Cayman 27.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for tuning in to Cayman Crosstalk. If you want to call in, the number in the studio is 233-1019, 233-1019. I'm here with Miss Michelle Lockwood from Cruise Port Referendum Cayman, and they're the guest of the opposition this morning, and they're talking about they're updating everyone that has volunteered, everyone that has signed the petition, how far they are, and they're just letting everyone know that they basically are a claw away from it all, and they just want to make sure that they have a buffer just in case that there's some bad-minded individuals that are signing that are not eligible to vote. If they did so, inadvertently or blatantly to thwart the numbers, they're just giving themselves a buffer to make sure that they mitigate that risk of it being not allowed simply because it didn't hit the threshold that is contained within Section 70 of the Constitution. And she just want to say to all of you, thank you all very much for doing that. And here is some another one that came through, ma'am. It says, not only the cost of the project is a concern, it's the detrimental effects on the coral reef systems of that immediate area. And actually going into the business with a corrupt company that will not reflect too great on the global world stage, who already in this we're corrupt in the money laundering jurisdiction, and this is the outlook from our financial competitors. If it is, and I don't need to mention what the rest of the world has called the company that has made it in to the top 3 bidders. And it says basically the global financial sector is totally overlooked when we're watched daily in how we do business with the world. We're here working to stay on the black list and gray list and any kind of list that these countries want to put us on, and to deal and to make sure that these people that are coming in are now the greatest players in the world. And I tend to agree that has been a concern of mine as well. And I think Mr. Moxham articulated that the night of the 26th, that how if the procurement process was completely kosher and met international guidelines, how did a company that the world, not even just the world, but you look at I believe it's the World Bank, it is the UN, I believe in some circumstances, and also Jamaica has now have issues and have had issues. They're even contractor general and so forth had issues with a particular company. And, one would have to wonder, how did they make it down to that realm? And especially in a global stage where the majority of cruisers come from America, not North America, America. And when you're dealing with an administration like the Trump administration, who is saying, you know what, we're not playing with China any longer. We're not with kid gloves. We're taking the gloves off. We're America first. And let me tell you something. If they can economically strangle Cuba, and everyone can come and argue with me, they have economically strangled Jamaica in many different ways as well. They didn't loosen up the straps on poor old Jamaica, even though that those suckers help hurt themselves as well. But don't think that America did not have a play in their economy system as well. Mm-hmm. And if that can happen, imagine an embargo going on the Cayman Islands where a country that they are fighting tooth and nail against in terms of global presence right off of their door mouth. Don't ever think that could never, ever happen. And don't ever think the words of the premier will never, ever be echoed again when he called out. And it was one of the few things that I've admired with the premier in the last administration when he called out the G8 as hypocrites, that they all talk about financial services and the financial sector and what these little tax havens do. As that poster just simply said, they're not paying close attention to how all of these things interconnect with whom we are and what we're doing. I just simply don't understand it. And then when I look and I try to be as objective as possible, and I urge everyone, go online to the Department of Tourism website, Minister's website, and download the outline business case scenario, the addendum by Price Waterhouse. You can read the other one, but the addendum basically went through the initial Beard report, either debunked or tried to clarify some details. In fact, it's a much more condensed report than anything else. Their concern in there was heavily expressed within there. They're concerned that overcrowding is going to be an issue that's going to affect the product. In fact, we see that happening with Stingray City. We see that happening with everywhere else. And that's going to impact what the reef systems are. In fact, they said it was $16 million of direct impact that we make from just those reef systems. But that is not even considering the non-use values of the reefs, which is a significant portion globally. But yet we're part of UNESCO. UNESCO is a UN initiative that simply says we need to protect the environment. In fact, if anyone reads Section 18 of your Constitution, and I urge all of you, get to know your Constitution, become intimate with it. Section 18 of the Constitution is very clear. It's about protecting the environment. And in fact, if you read almost the preamble of UNESCO's mission, it is almost contained. The verbiage is almost exact in the UNESCO's initiatives, ladies and gentlemen, which is, to me, is kind of ironic that they're pushing this, but yet going against everything of harming the natural environment. I just don't understand the two. And then here's another thing that just befuddles me as well, Ms. Lockwood and everyone else. One, I'm disappointed that you actually got to sign in with your name and your email to get the outline, the tourism plan for the Cayman Islands. I'm really disappointed in that. That should be a national initiative. But here's the thing that was being touted just maybe 3 months ago, a quarter ago. They signed it saying Cayman Airways is going to fly the longest flight pattern that they've ever done, from Miami straight through to Denver, Colorado, or I believe even from Grand Cayman to Denver. And the reason why they were extremely ecstatic about Denver, and I'm ecstatic as well, is because Denver is the 6th largest scuba population within America and is growing by leaps and bounds annually. And they want to make sure that the scuba divers and snorkelers will come to the Cayman Islands. But yet you're going to be decimating reefs that are unique because they're on the leeward side of the island. As in the outline business case scenario said, they're the only places that you can literally jump from shore and enjoy without taking a boat or anything else, which makes the Georgetown Harbor Reefs unique. You're going to hit that 1,600 linear feet. That is a quarter of a mile of all the reef systems that are going to be gone completely. But yet you're promoting scuba diving and snorkeling. And I'm still hung up on the words of the Carnival executive saying, our whole entire mission and goal is to provide our cruisers with 3 things: sun, fun, and snorkeling. Ironic. I got to take a break right now, but the lines are open, 233-1019.
More of Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101 and live on Cayman 27 is next.
A tropical storm watch has been upgraded to
Hey, I've been tracking the storm, and it's looking really dangerous.
Yeah.
You're in a new place. Gotta prepare. No, put that down. You need canned goods, not canned
I get
soda
it.
and
Yes,
water.
sis.
You need plenty
Water.
of water.
All right, water. Let's go.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get ready for this.
Is it your first time?
Yes.
Do you need a hurricane buddy?
Please.
All right, come on. I prefer bigger bottles.
Kind of shame it took a hurricane for us to finally hang out.
Yeah, I know, right?
Ace, it's kind of bad time.
Hey, good news. The hurricane warning's been lifted. I saw online the storm has changed direction.
Oh, so I guess you get to go back to your place now.
Where are you? That's not your apartment.
Please pick the flowers.
Bye, neighbor.
Flavor with a beat. That thing now move up him dancing feet. We dance them flare, flavor with a beat. Whole heap of sauce, yeah, we acting on the street. Young middle age are old, move your feet. When bass if we dance, everybody have to do it.
Grace, feel the vibe, can't you feel it? Grace, delicious, so nutritious. Yes, quality when you taste it. Want affordable? Look for the label.
Flavor we are here because the spice is flaring. Flavor with a beat, no other brand than near we.
One taste and you know Grace is real.
And I just want to sincerely thank, Gilbert Miller this morning. It says today you're going to have a high of 84 with the real fuel temperature about 92 degrees. You're going to have partial sunshine with some showers in areas. You got a 40% chance of experiencing that today, but otherwise it's going to be a beautiful day. Winds are going to be coming at you from the east-northeast at 12 miles per hour with an occasional gust at about 15. That easterly-northeast direction is going to continue but drop down to about 8 to 9 miles per hour tonight. That's going to see your surface temperatures drop to 81 with the real fuel temperature about 86 degrees. You got a limited chance of experiencing some showers, maybe 20%. So therefore, the synopsis for the nighttime hours is going to be partly cloudy. Sunrise this morning was at 6:29. Sunset will be at 5:49. You got 11 hours and 20 minutes of beautiful tropical sun to enjoy. You got a similar weather forecast pattern straight through until Thursday morning. Join me back with Miss Michelle Lockwood of CPR.
Be a part of the conversation on Cayman Crosstalk by calling the Superior Auto Hotline, 233-1019, or message us on the Cayman Crosstalk Facebook page. Now, back to Cayman Crosstalk on Rooster 101 and simulcast live on Cayman 27.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much. Number in the studios is 233-1019, 233-1019, sponsored by our wonderful friends at Superior Auto. And I have Miss Michelle Lockwood in the studios with us from the People-Initiated Referendum. And, Michelle, I got a couple of things that came through. I'm just going for the first one first. They're asking if you've been walking around and those that may be in offices that really can't make it out and at night, a little tired, and whatever excuse they can come with. Are you going to them? Are you going to door?
We are going door to door, and equally, Mario has been really kind to give his number out. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I'm sure he's fine if I give his number out.
I'm not going to do it.
322-7550. Mario has been really good about going around. Just give him a call, and he's more than happy to come and reach out to you, come to you. If you know anybody equally that does want to sign that hasn't been able to, or would rather remain more private, Mario's been going out. But yes, we have been doing door-to-door efforts. We've definitely been pushing. We're always at Hurley's. We also have the petitions at Bliss, Sunset House, Pure Art, and Four Winds Esso, and Savannah Rubis. So if at any point you are out and you can get to one of those locations, there are permanent locations for the petition.
All right, great. And here's another one that came through. This is a pretty intense one. I'm going to try to read it. I kind of skimmed it through the last break. And as you well know, when you're writing and text and so forth, if it's capital and bold, somebody's shouting. It says, I am so mad to hear Michelle talk about the illegal actions of the elections office, ! Thank you for updating the public where CPR stands with reaching its target number. However, I am so mad to hear Michelle talk about the illegal actions of the elections office keeping or removing people from being registered voter just because they don't live at their address. I was waiting until they reached the number before I filed a constitutional challenge in court because I am no longer registered voter when they took me off for living outside of Cayman for more than 2 years, which is the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association's election observers found to be overly excessive. In addition, the Human Rights Commission could not find no other country in the world who punishes its citizens in the manner in which the Cayman Islands punishes its citizens. All the elections office told the elections observers is that they will review it since it is a constitutional matter. The only requirement is that the Constitution places on first registering to vote is when you first sign up, you have to be resident in the Cayman Islands for a prior 2 years. The Constitution is silent and does not require Caymanians to never leave home more than 2 years. I think that is safe for if you're running for office. To punish hundreds of Caymanians who fled Cayman just to get employment in other countries when they can't find work here is unconscionable. On top of it, it violates Section 13 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is state that everyone has a right to leave any country, including his own, and return to his own country, unquote. There are literally hundreds of Caymanians who would like to sign a petition and vote on it, but cannot because they have been, and what I believe is unlawfully removed from the register. I do not know how else to correct this but to do a constitutional challenge removing Caymanians for living overseas more than 2 years when that's not what the Caymanian Constitution says. That is only what some high-ranking civil servants has decided to interpret it as, and everyone else just has to decide to go along with it.
I mean, I'm just going to clarify that I wasn't in any way insinuating that anything that the elections office was doing was illegal. I was just saying that, you know, I have had concerns that some of our signatures might be discredited because, like I said, there are some people who have been married, who have gotten divorced, and they've changed their name, they've changed their signature, and I was more concerned from that perspective. Although I have seen that there are some people that have, you know, said that they were registered in Cayman Brac, but now they've moved to Grand Cayman and they can't see their name on the elections portal anymore. I don't know what the situation is, and I don't really want to comment on it too much because that would be out of my realm to discuss because I really don't know.
Right.
I mean, I agree with her points. I agree with what she's saying. So, but in no way am I insinuating that what the elections office has done is illegal in any way. Because, like I said, that's outside of my scope.
I think you were clear at the very beginning that you wanted to mitigate any risk and any harm.
Yeah.
If there's anyone removed from the register or people are just been signing fake names or aliases or something just to thwart the numbers. And I think that's not unreasonable to think because there are some people out there that would just do that. To be honest with you, fill books up with fake names like
and I know some people that have had really good intentions. Like when I was at the meeting on the 26th of September, somebody told me like, oh yeah, I've signed it. I signed it. Every time I see someone, I sign it. And I'm like, I mean, that's great, but your signature only counts one time.
Yeah.
So signing it 5 times doesn't help our cause.
Maybe they were from Georgetown and used to voting 5 times.
Maybe. Maybe. You know, so it's just stuff like that, making sure that, you know, we don't have duplicates, you know, somebody wasn't sure. Because, you know, equally there was another petition going on at the same time that ours kind of launched. So some people thought that they had signed our petition, but they actually signed the other one. So it's just stuff like that, making sure that people, you know, haven't signed twice or, you know, in any way had any reason why it could be discredited or, you know, removed from consideration as one of the 5,288, which is why we have a cushion. And like I was saying earlier about the civil servants, you know, there are a lot of civil servants and young people that cannot sign it, or, you know, civil servants, they shouldn't be worried about signing it because they are allowed to sign. But if you are worried, that's all the more reason why the rest of us need to sign this petition in order that everybody has the ability to go to the polls and make a decision about this and an informed decision about this.
All right. And I got an email that came through as well, and I just want to read it. What's up? The number that you can actually contact is 327-5411. 327-5411. If you want to sign the petition, simply call them and they will bring it to you. That is 327-5411. 327-5411. And that's the number. If you want your petition brought to your workplace, your home, wherever it may be, jot that number down and share it with everyone else. 327-5411. And they will bring the petition to you. Michelle, I just want to sincerely thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
And
Giving
us an update and letting us know that you're basically a fingernail.
We're almost there,
scratch away.
guys. We're almost there.
And you're just waiting for just a buffer to make sure that you reached all the numbers in a capacity that you could possibly do.
Yeah.
And I guess the government should be considering that. And I would say they would be remiss of the government and the FCO not to get it, because they are, in their expressions to the government in terms of changing the Constitution, they believe that the Constitution was done by referendum. And so the Constitution was passed by people-initiated referendum in 2009. And so they believe in that one segment of the Constitution. So if the government of the day gives a hard time, I'm looking forward to Mr. Martin Roper to make sure that he fulfills his obligation to say that everything will be kosher, and he will fight for the people as well in his welcoming statement. I got callers on the line, but I got to close down right now. Just want to let all of you know tomorrow we will have Miss Teresa Enginicki coming in. She's the chief officer of NAU, Needs Assessment Unit, and so forth of that nature, coming in. I believe to clarify some details we had with Mr. Chet Oswald Ebanks, that came through, along with other things and maybe updates of that particular department as well. So that's going to be an interesting conversation. We're going to have the Director General as well of weather, Mr. John Tibbetts, coming in, and we're going to be discussing the weather and some things as well, and just giving updates and giving praise to those wonderful forecasters that we do have at the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. And I just want to sincerely thank you all for tuning in. And if you didn't get it this morning, Cayman 27 is now rebroadcasting Cayman Crosstalk weekdays between 3 and 6 p.m. on Cayman 27. So if you missed us, you can catch us back. If you're at work, you can come back and catch us back as well. If not, you can go online to our Facebook page, which is Cayman Crosstalk. Share it. I've been appreciating the shares. I've been appreciating your likes. And I want to sincerely thank you. It's grown organically. And thank you very much for the wonderful, kind remarks that you've been putting on there as well, and your ratings. It really means a great deal to me and to Hurley's Media. And it would be remiss in me not to do my normal closing, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a pet, I beg you to please consider spaying and neutering that pet today to keep the unwanted pet population low in the Cayman Islands. In addition, life is short. Life is beautiful. Enjoy your true value, which is your friends and your family. And if you do that by going out celebrating, I beg you, do so responsibly. Please, I beg you, don't drink and drive. And certainly don't boat and drink. I'm your host, Woody DaCosta. Until tomorrow, Godspeed, Cayman.
3, 2, 1.
If it matters to you, it matters to us. We're Cayman 27, Cayman Informed.
Coming up next, Governor Martin Roper says there's room for improvement at Northwood Prison.
An early morning collision sends one cyclist to the hospital.
And we will tell you what you need to do to protect yourself during flu season.
The under-20s kick off at the CONCACAF Championships, plus back-to-back winners at the Cayman Islands Triathlon.
And we had some afternoon showers in the Grand Cayman area. Radar still picking up some activity. I'll have a full forecast for you coming up. Cayman 27 News is coming up next.
Bogle Insurance Brokers Limited are professional, independent insurance brokers established in 1988. We are a wholly Caymanian-owned insurance broker with a wealth of knowledge in the local and international insurance market. Our professional team service clients with a range of insurance products, including motor, home, health, contractors, marine, and business insurance, among others. Contact us at 949-0579 or email us at service@bogleins.com.